Hello guys, welcome to Scion What If. So in this video, we will see what if Goku became an angel. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, don't forget to show us some love by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's start the story. Chapter 1, The Ascension. Goku blocked the flurry of energy blasts, his forearms burning from the impact. Vegeta wasn't holding back today, not that he ever did. Come on, Kakarot. You're getting slow. Vegeta taunted, his yellow Super Saiyan aura flaring around his compact frame. Goku grinned, wiping a trickle of blood from his lip. Just warming up. He vanished, reappearing behind Vegeta and landing a solid kick that sent the Saiyan Prince crashing through 3 massive boulders. The familiar rush of battle sang through Goku's veins. These sparring sessions with Vegeta kept him sharp, especially during these peaceful times. Years after the Tournament of Power, life had settled into a comfortable rhythm, which meant Goku was constantly itching for a good fight. Vegeta exploded from the rubble, his hair now blue as he ascended to Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Enough games. Goku matched his transformation, blue hair rippling as divine ki surged through him. They clashed in midair, each impact shaking the remote mountain range they'd chosen for today's battle. You've been distracted lately, Vegeta grunted between punches. Your mind's not in the fight. Goku dodged a particularly vicious right hook. Just thinking about what's next, you know. We've fought gods, angels, even people from other universes. Sometimes I wonder what else is out there. Always looking for the next challenge, Vegeta scoffed, though there was understanding in his eyes. Some things never change. Their fists connected simultaneously, the shockwave flattening the trees below. Both Saiyans hovered, panting and grinning at each other. Goku opened his mouth to suggest they kick things up another notch when a strange sensation washed over him. A pulse of energy, divine but unsettling, rippled through reality itself. You feel that? He asked, all thoughts of sparring forgotten. Vegeta nodded, eyes narrowed. Something's wrong. The air between them shimmered, warping like heat waves over hot pavement. Then reality split open, revealing a glowing tear in space. Both Saiyans dropped into defensive stances, ready for whatever might emerge. Son Goku. Whis stepped through the portal, his usually cheerful demeanor replaced with something Goku had rarely seen, genuine concern. Your presence is required immediately. Whis. What's going on? Goku lowered his guard slightly. Is Beerus throwing another tantrum about food? The angel shook his head. The Grand Minister has summoned you. Vegeta's eyes widened. The Grand Minister. What could he possibly want with Kakarot? All will be explained, Whis said, his staff glowing brighter. But we must leave now. The situation is unprecedented. Goku exchanged a look with Vegeta. Guess our rematch will have to wait. You wanna come? This isn't a field trip, Kakarot, Vegeta said, though Goku could see the curiosity burning in his eyes. But I'm not letting you face whatever this is alone. Someone has to make sure you don't say something stupid to the gods. Whis tapped his staff, creating a shimmering bubble around them. Very well. Though I must warn you both, what you're about to witness may change everything. The bubble shot upward, accelerating beyond light speed. Stars blurred around them as they crossed vast cosmic distances. Goku pressed his face against the bubble's surface, watching universes slip by like roadside attractions. Whis, what's really happening? Goku asked, turning serious. You're never this cryptic. Whis kept his eyes forward. Angels are disappearing, Goku. Across multiple universes. Disappearing? How? I thought angels were basically immortal, Goku said. We are, or we should be. Whis's grip tightened on his staff. My siblings are vanishing without explanation. The cosmic balance is at risk. Vegeta crossed his arms. And what does this have to do with Kakarot? Before Whis could answer, their bubble burst through the final barrier, arriving at the sacred realm of the gods, a floating palace of impossible architecture where reality obeyed different rules. Crystal spires stretched upward, reflecting light that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. They weren't alone. Gods of destruction from multiple universes had gathered, their attendant angels conspicuously absent from many of their sides. Beerus paced anxiously, ears twitching. About time, he snapped when he spotted them. Your sister was supposed to be here hours ago, Whis. Compa's losing his mind. My sister is among the missing, Lord Beerus, Whis said quietly. Beerus froze, the news hitting him harder than he'd admit. Vados? Impossible. I'm afraid it's true. The Grand Minister descended from above, a gentle blue light surrounding his diminutive form. Despite his size, his presence dominated the gathering, commanding immediate silence. Son Goku, he addressed directly. Thank you for coming so promptly. Goku gave a casual wave. Hey. No problem. Though I'm still not sure why I'm here. Vegeta elbowed him sharply. Show some respect, you clown. The Grand Minister smiled slightly. Your forthrightness is precisely why you're here, son Goku. Walk with me. Goku followed, leaving behind a sputtering Vegeta and concerned Whis. They moved to a private balcony overlooking an infinite cosmic sea, stars being born and dying in the distance. What I'm about to tell you affects the very fabric of existence, the Grand Minister began. Angels serve as the essential balancing force between creation and destruction. With so many now missing, that balance is failing. Can't you just make more angels? Goku asked, leaning against the railing. It's not that simple. Angels aren't created, they're chosen. The Grand Minister turned to face him directly. Which brings me to why you're here. Son Goku, I'm offering you the position of angel. Goku blinked, then laughed. Me? An angel? No way. I'm just a fighter from Earth. You're far more than that. You've transcended mortality multiple times. You've achieved Ultra Instinct, a state even gods struggle to master. You've defeated universal threats and earned the respect of beings far beyond your realm. The Grand Minister's eyes seemed to look through Goku, examining his very soul. Most importantly, you understand the balance between power and compassion. But angels don't fight, Goku protested. They just stand around watching. No offense, but that sounds super boring. Is that what you think we do? The Grand Minister waved his hand, conjuring an image of Whis in battle against beings Goku couldn't comprehend. Angels are the universe's most powerful warriors, we simply choose when to exercise that power. Goku watched, mesmerized by Whis' fluid movements and devastating attacks. I had no idea. There's much you don't know about us. But you could learn. The Grand Minister dispelled the image. The multiverse needs protectors who understand the value of mortal life, not just the divine laws governing it. Why not ask someone else? Vegeta's smart about this stuff. Or Gohan, he's way better with responsibility. They weren't my choice. You were. The Grand Minister's tone grew heavier. Something is targeting angels specifically, Goku. Something that understands our weaknesses. We need someone who thinks differently, someone unpredictable. Goku rubbed the back of his head, an old habit when feeling pressured. I dunno. What about my family? My life on Earth? You would retain your connections, though your perspective would change. You would gain power beyond imagination, knowledge spanning eons, and the ability to protect everyone you love from threats you can't currently comprehend. Goku stared out at the cosmic ocean, uncharacteristically quiet. Can I think about it? Of course. The Grand Minister nodded. Though I should warn you, a violent tremor rocked the Divine Palace, sending cracks through the supposedly indestructible structure. Shouts erupted from the main chamber. Goku and the Grand Minister rushed back to find chaos. A swirling vortex of dark energy had appeared in the center of the gathering, pulsing with malevolent purpose. 2 more angels had vanished during their brief conversation. "It's here," Whis said, his voice tight with rare fear. The phenomenon. The darkness reached tendrils toward the nearest angel, a tall female with lavender skin. She fought back with her staff, but the darkness seemed to absorb her energy attacks. Without hesitation, Goku launched himself toward her, transforming into Ultra Instinct. He grabbed the angel and pulled her away just as the darkness would have engulfed her. "Thanks," she gasped, clearly shaken. Goku turned to face the swirling void. "What is this thing?" "Not what, who," the Grand Minister corrected, raising his hand. A pulse of pure light erupted from his palm, temporarily driving back the darkness. "An old enemy has returned. One who knows angels intimately." The vortex contracted, then exploded outward with renewed force. This time, it formed a vague humanoid shape, regarding them all with empty eyes that somehow burned with hatred. "The hierarchy falls," it spoke in a voice like grinding universes. The balance was always a lie. Beerus launched a Hakai blast directly at the entity. The purple energy of destruction should have erased anything it touched from existence. Instead, the entity absorbed it, growing larger. "God of destruction, your power is borrowed. Mine is earned." Goku stepped forward. "I don't know who or what you are, but you're not taking anyone else." The entity seemed to notice him properly for the first time. Its formless head tilted. "Mortal flesh with godly power. Interesting contradiction. You don't belong here, Scion." "Yeah, I get that a lot," Goku retorted, sliding into a fighting stance. The entity laughed, a sound like shattering stars. "Your defiance is noted. Your interference is unexpected." It withdrew slightly, the dark tendrils receding. "A new player changes the game. We will meet again when you understand what you're defending, Scion." With those cryptic words, the darkness collapsed in on itself, vanishing as suddenly as it had appeared. The assembled gods and remaining angels stood in stunned silence. Vegeta pushed his way to Goku's side. "What did you do, Kakarot?" "Nothing," Goku answered, puzzled. "It just left." The Grand Minister approached, his expression grave. "It recognized you as something new, something outside its calculations. Which means we have a temporary advantage," Whis added. Goku looked around at the shaken faces of the divine beings. Angels, who he'd always seen as untouchable, now looked vulnerable. Gods of destruction, normally arrogant and unflappable, appeared genuinely afraid. He turned back to the Grand Minister. "That thing is going after my family next, isn't it?" "Most likely. It seems to target what angels care about. And it now sees you as a potential angel." Goku clenched his fists. "Then I don't need time to think about it. I'll do it. I'll become an angel." "Kakarot." Vegeta grabbed his shoulder. "Don't be hasty. You have no idea what you're agreeing to." "I know that thing is going after people I care about, Vegeta. If becoming an angel gives me the power to stop it, then that's what I'll do." Goku's eyes hardened with determination. "I've never backed down from a fight, especially when my family's on the line." The Grand Minister nodded solemnly. "The transformation will not be easy. Your mortal body must be reconstructed to channel divine energy permanently. The process is uncomfortable. Pain doesn't scare me." "It's not the physical discomfort you should fear," Whis warned. "Your very consciousness will expand. You'll perceive time differently. Feel connections to the universe in ways mortals cannot comprehend." Goku shrugged. "Sounds interesting." Vegeta rolled his eyes. "Your idiot brain would find cosmic horror interesting." "The transformation must begin immediately," the Grand Minister said, raising his hand to create a glowing circle on the floor. "Step into the circle when you're ready." Goku turned to Vegeta. Tell everyone what's happening. Tell Chi-Chi. Tell her I'm doing this for them. Tell her yourself when this is over, Vegeta replied gruffly. I'm not your messenger. Despite his harsh words, Goku saw the concern in his rival's eyes. He offered a hand, which Vegeta reluctantly clasped in a warrior's grip. Don't get all sentimental now, Kakarot, Vegeta muttered. Just don't embarrass the Saiyans with whatever divine nonsense you're about to become. Goku laughed. No promises. With a final nod to Whis, Goku stepped into the circle. Immediately, energy surged up from the floor, encasing him in a pillar of blinding white light. The sensation started as warmth, then quickly intensified to burning. Inside the pillar, Goku felt his body begin to change. His cells transformed one by one, mortal matter becoming divine essence. His consciousness expanded outward, suddenly aware of countless lives across countless worlds. He could feel the energy of stars, the movement of planets, the flow of time itself. The pain was beyond anything he'd experienced. Not sharp like a physical wound, but vast and all-encompassing, as if his very soul was being stretched across infinity. Through it all, Goku held on to who he was. Not just Kakarot the Saiyan or Goku the Earthling, but everything he'd become through his journey. The boy who left Mount Paozu, the man who became a father, the warrior who defended Earth, the student who sought greater heights, all were essential parts of him. As the transformation reached its peak, Goku heard the entity's voice again, somehow speaking directly into his expanding consciousness. Welcome to divinity, Saiyan. Now the real game begins. Then everything went white. Goku opened his eyes to find himself floating in an endless void. No, not endless. He could now perceive its boundaries, the subtle texture of reality itself. Information flooded his enhanced senses, the exact location of every celestial body, the life force of countless beings, the ticking of cosmic clocks. Overwhelming, isn't it? The Grand Minister appeared beside him, though Goku somehow knew he'd been there all along. Your mortal mind is adapting to angel perception. It's a lot. Goku's voice sounded different to his own ears, more resonant, carrying subtle harmonics. How do you focus with all this input? You'll learn. For now, narrow your attention. Look at yourself. Goku glanced down and gasped. His skin had turned a pale blue, like the sky on a clear day. His GI had transformed into flowing white and gold robes that seemed to move with an unfelt breeze. When he raised his hand, he saw his muscles were still defined but somehow more refined. Perfect in their proportion and function. Most shocking of all, his normally black hair, or golden when transformed, had become pure white, standing up in its familiar spiky pattern but glowing with inner light. This is so weird, he muttered, touching his face. It felt like his, yet different, smoother, without the small scars earned in countless battles. The physical changes are merely the beginning, the Grand Minister explained. You retain your Saiyan strength, but now it's coupled with angelic power. You'll never need to eat or sleep again, though you may choose to. Never eat again? Goku looked genuinely distressed. But I love food. The Grand Minister chuckled. As I said, you may choose to. Many angels maintain certain mortal pleasures. Your body simply no longer requires sustenance. A staff materialized before Goku, similar to Whis' but uniquely his. The handle was wrapped in orange fabric reminiscent of his GI, and the orb at the top contained what looked like 4 stars, similar to his grandfather's Dragon Ball. Your angel staff, the Grand Minister explained. It will help you channel and focus your new abilities until they become second nature. Goku reached out hesitantly, then grasped the staff. Power surged through him, bringing clarity to the chaotic flood of information. Suddenly, he could filter the cosmic awareness, focusing on what mattered. Whoa! That's better. The staff is an extension of yourself, it will grow as you do. The Grand Minister made a subtle gesture, and their surroundings transformed. They now stood in what appeared to be a training ground floating in space. Now, for your first lesson. Already? I just got these powers. Time is luxury we no longer have. The entity you encountered is gaining strength with each angel it claims. Goku nodded, his expression turning serious. Right. What do I need to learn first? Transportation. The Grand Minister pointed to a distant galaxy. Angels don't rely on instant transmission. We move through reality differently. Visualize your destination and tap your staff twice. Goku squinted at the galaxy, then tapped his staff. Nothing happened. You're trying too hard, the Grand Minister advised. Don't force the power. Let it flow through you. Goku took a deep breath, relaxed his posture, and tried again. This time, reality shifted around him. One moment he was with the Grand Minister, the next he was floating among the stars of the distant galaxy. Cool, he exclaimed, before realizing he was talking to empty space. Indeed, the Grand Minister replied, somehow beside him again. But your control needs work. You've traveled 10,000 years into this galaxy's past. Goku blinked. I did what now? Angels exist partially outside normal time. You must learn to navigate both space and time correctly. For the next several hours, or perhaps days, time felt different now. Goku practiced the basics of angelic movement, energy manipulation, and perception. Some skills came naturally to him. He'd always been a quick study with techniques, but others proved challenging. The precision required for angelic powers conflicted with his usual approach of using overwhelming force. Frustrating, isn't it? Whis joined them during a particularly difficult lesson on molecular manipulation. You've always relied on brute strength and battle instinct. Angel powers require finesse. Goku wiped sweat from his brow. Apparently, angels could still sweat when they exerted themselves. It's like trying to thread a needle while wearing boxing gloves. An apt analogy, Whis chuckled. Though I'm surprised you know what a needle is, given how Chi-Chi complains about your inability to help with sewing. The mention of his wife brought Goku up short. How long have we been training? Earth time, I mean. Whis and the Grand Minister exchanged glances. 3 weeks, the Grand Minister finally answered. Time moves differently in the divine realms. 3 weeks. Goku dropped his staff in shock. I need to go home. Chi-Chi's gonna kill me. Your family has been informed of the situation, Whis assured him. Though I suspect seeing your new appearance will be quite the shock for them. Goku ran a hand through his white hair. Yeah, I bet. Can I go see them now? Please. The Grand Minister considered this. A brief visit would be acceptable. You've made remarkable progress for a newcomer. But remember, you're not fully trained yet. Your powers are still developing. I'll be careful, Goku promised, already focusing on his mountain home. He tapped his staff twice and appeared in his living room, right in the middle of dinner. Chi-Chi screamed and dropped a serving bowl. Goten choked on his rice. Gohan, who was visiting with Videl and Pan, jumped to his feet in a defensive stance. Hey guys. Goku waved cheerfully. It's me. D-Dad? Gohan lowered his guard slightly. Is that really you? Yep. Just with a new look. And job. And, species, I guess. Chi-Chi approached cautiously, her expression shifting between shock, anger, and concern. She reached out to touch his face, then jerked her hand back when she felt his cool skin. You're cold, she whispered. Am I? Goku touched his own cheek. I don't feel cold. Everything's just different now. Grandpa's blue, little Pan exclaimed, breaking the tension. The 5-year-old bounded over to examine him more closely. And pretty. Like a star. Goku knelt down to her level, relieved when she didn't hesitate to touch his new form. Do you like it, Pan? She nodded enthusiastically. Can you still do the light trick? She meant his Super Saiyan transformation. I'm not sure, Goku admitted. He handed his staff to Gohan and concentrated, trying to summon the familiar Super Saiyan energy. To his surprise, power surged through him, but instead of his hair turning gold, his white hair and blue skin simply glowed brighter, radiating divine energy that made everyone step back. That's not Super Saiyan, Gohan observed, shielding his eyes. Goku powered down quickly. Guess I'll have to figure that out later. 3 weeks, Chi-Chi finally spoke properly, her voice trembling. 3 weeks without a word, and you come back like this? I know it's a shock, Goku began. A shock. Chi-Chi's volume increased. Goku, you left to spar with Vegeta and came back as some kind of divine being. How am I supposed to react to that? Chi-Chi, Vegeta told us something was happening, Gohan interrupted. But he was vague about the details. Said it wasn't his place to explain. Goku took a deep breath. There's a threat out there. Something targeting angels across all universes. The Grand Minister asked me to become an angel to help fight it. And you just said yes. Chi-Chi demanded. Without talking to your family first. It wasn't like that. Goku's expression grew serious. This thing, whatever it is, it's coming after the people angels care about. That means you, all of you. I did this to protect you. The room fell silent as his words sank in. Goten, who had been unusually quiet, finally spoke up. So, are you still my dad? Or are you like Whis now? The innocent question hit Goku hard. Of course I'm still your dad. Nothing's gonna change that, buddy. But everything else has changed, Chi-Chi said quietly. You don't even need to eat anymore, do you? What about sleep? Growing old together? All our plans. Goku hadn't considered these implications. The enormity of what he'd given up, what he'd become, suddenly hit him. I'm sorry, he said, and meant it. I didn't think about all that. I just knew I needed to protect everyone. Chi-Chi's expression softened slightly. That's always been your way, hasn't it? Rushing into danger without a second thought. She sighed. I just wish, for once, you'd considered what it means for us to watch you transform into something we can't understand. I'm still me, Goku insisted. Just, with some upgrades. Dad, Gohan said carefully, what exactly does being an angel entail? Whis serves Lord Beerus. Who do you serve? No one yet. I'm still in training. Goku reclaimed his staff from Gohan, feeling more comfortable with it in hand. The Grand Minister says I'll eventually be assigned somewhere, but for now, I'm focused on stopping whatever's attacking the other angels. And after that? Chi-Chi asked. Will you come home? Goku wanted to say yes immediately, but honesty compelled him to hesitate. I don't know. I didn't really think that far ahead. Chi-Chi turned away, but not before Goku caught the tears in her eyes. His enhanced perception now let him feel her emotions, the mixture of love, fear, resignation, and heartbreak radiating from her was almost overwhelming. I need some air, she said, and walked outside. Goku moved to follow, but Gohan placed a hand on his shoulder. Give her time. Dad. This is a lot to process. I'll go talk to her, Videl offered, following her mother-in-law. Goku stood awkwardly in the living room, his new divine form seemingly too large for the modest house that had been his home for decades. Can you still go Super Saiyan Blue? Goten asked, breaking the uncomfortable silence. That would make you, like, double blue. Despite everything, Goku found himself laughing. Trust his youngest son to find humor in the situation. I don't know, but it's worth trying. The evening progressed with Goku demonstrating some of his new abilities, carefully, to avoid damaging the house. He could create objects from nothing, peer into other dimensions, and even rewind time briefly within a small area. When he accidentally broke one of Chi-Chi's vases, he managed to reverse the damage, much to everyone's amazement. Chi-Chi eventually returned, her eyes red but her composure restored. She didn't mention their earlier conversation, instead focusing on practical matters. "Will you be staying for dinner? Can you even eat our food anymore?" "I don't need to eat," Goku explained, "but I definitely want to. Your cooking's way too good to give up." Chi-Chi, her smile was small but genuine. Some things, at least, hadn't changed. After dinner, when the children had gone to bed, Goku and Chi-Chi sat alone on the porch of their home, looking up at stars that Goku now perceived differently, as living entities with distinct energies and life cycles. "I can feel how different you are," Chi-Chi said softly. "It's not just how you look. There's something vast about you now." Goku nodded. "It's weird for me too. I can see and feel things I never knew existed." "Are you still happy, Goku?" The question carried all her fears. Goku considered this carefully. "I'm still figuring things out. But I'm still me, I still love fighting, and adventures, and you, and our family." Chi-Chi leaned against him despite his cooler temperature. "Just promise me one thing. No matter how powerful or divine you become, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget us." "Never," Goku promised, wrapping an arm around her. "You guys are my anchor. Always have been." As they sat together under the stars, Goku felt a disturbance, a ripple in reality that his new senses detected instantly. Somewhere, another angel had vanished. The enemy was moving faster. He tightened his hold on Chi-Chi, silently renewing his vow to protect her and everyone else he loved. Whatever he'd become, whatever sacrifices lay ahead, that fundamental truth remained unchanged. Morning arrived, and with it came an unwelcome visitor. Goku sensed the approach before anyone else, a divine energy signature moving purposefully toward Earth. He stepped outside just as a brilliant light flashed in the sky. A figure descended, an angel Goku hadn't met yet, with pale green skin and elaborately styled silver hair. "Celestian," Goku greeted, somehow knowing the angel's name despite never having been introduced. "Apprentice." Celestian's voice dripped with disdain. "I see the rumors are true. The Grand Minister has indeed elevated a mortal. Is there a problem with that?" Goku kept his tone casual, but his stance shifted subtly into a more defensive position. "Many problems." Celestian landed gracefully, his pristine robes settling without a wrinkle. "But I'm not here to list them all. The Council has summoned you." "The Council?" "The Angelic Council. The governing body for all angels across the universes." Celestian raised an eyebrow. "Surely the Grand Minister mentioned us." "He might have," Goku admitted. "I was kinda focused on the whole transformation thing." Celestian sighed dramatically. "Typical. The most important promotion in 1,000,000,000 years, and they choose a mortal who doesn't even understand our basic structure." Chi-Chi emerged from the house, instantly assessing the situation. "Goku? Who's this?" "Chi-Chi, this is Celestian. He's another angel. Apparently, I've been summoned to some council meeting." Celestian glanced at Chi-Chi with naked curiosity. "So this is your mortal mate. Fascinating. You maintain the attachment even after ascension." "She's my wife," Goku corrected firmly. "And yeah, that's not changing." "How quaint." Celestian turned back to Goku. "We must depart immediately. The council doesn't like to be kept waiting." Chi-Chi stepped forward. "He just got home. And now he must leave again." Celestian's tone left no room for argument. "Such is the life of an angel, mortal woman. You'd best become accustomed to absence." Goku frowned at Celestian's rudeness. "Hey, show some respect. She's talking to you." "Respect? For a mortal?" Celestian looked genuinely confused. You have much to learn about your new station, apprentice. Goku. He crossed his arms. My name's Goku, not apprentice. Your former name is irrelevant. You'll receive your divine designation when you're fully recognized. Chi-Chi laid a hand on Goku's arm. It's okay. Go to your meeting. Just, come back when you can. Goku nodded, then faced Celestian. Fine, I'll go with you. But we're gonna have a talk about manners on the way. Celestian merely rolled his eyes and tapped his staff, creating a wormhole. After you, Goku. With a last reassuring smile to Chi-Chi, Goku stepped through the portal. The journey took only seconds, but when they emerged, they stood in a realm Goku hadn't visited before. A massive crystal amphitheater floated in the void, its architecture defying conventional physics. 12 elaborate thrones arranged in a circle dominated the central platform, most occupied by angels of varying appearances. The Grand Minister sat at what appeared to be the head position. Ah, the newcomer arrives, announced a female angel with midnight blue skin and star-like freckles across her face. Let's have a look at you. Dozens of divine eyes scrutinized Goku as he walked forward, staff in hand. He resisted the urge to fidget under their intense examination. Honored Council, Celestian bowed deeply. I present the mortal ascended as requested. The Grand Minister gestured for Goku to come closer. Son Goku, you stand before the Angelic Council, the governing body of all angelic duties and designations across the multiverse. These are your peers now. Hi everyone. Goku waved, earning several disapproving frowns and a few amused smiles. Nice place you've got here. He speaks like a child, muttered one elderly appearing angel with a long beard. He was mortal mere days ago, Kranoa, the Grand Minister reminded him. Allowances must be made for adjustment. A muscular angel with deep red skin leaned forward. The question isn't his manners, but his capability. The Grand Minister has made an unprecedented decision in elevating a mortal. We deserve to know if this scion is worthy of the honor. Worthy? Goku scratched his head. I didn't ask for this, you know. I'm just trying to help stop whatever's attacking you all. That's precisely my point, the Red Angel continued. You don't even understand what you've become part of. Then explain it to me, Goku challenged, his patience wearing thin. Instead of looking down on me, teach me. A ripple of murmurs spread through the council. The Grand Minister's lips quirked in what might have been a smile. A fair request, he acknowledged. Mallory, as our historian, perhaps you would do the honors. The angel with star-like freckles, apparently Mallory, rose from her seat. Very well. She tapped her staff, and the amphitheater darkened, stars appearing all around them. In the beginning, there was chaos, she began, the stars swirling to illustrate her words. From chaos emerged order, the first divine beings who shaped the primordial energies into universes. The display showed abstract representations of creation, gods and forces beyond comprehension molding reality itself. But creation alone was insufficient. Without guidance, without balance, the early universes collapsed in on themselves. Thus were angels conceived, beings of perfect neutrality who could oversee without interfering, guide without dominating. The stars formed the silhouettes of angels watching over developing worlds. We stand between existence and non-existence, life and death, creation and destruction. We advise the gods of destruction but are bound never to take sides in mortal conflicts. We observe, record, and maintain balance. That is our sacred duty. The display shifted to show the complex network connecting all angels across universes, a web of divine energy with the Grand Minister at its center. Every angel is chosen for their perfect neutrality, their unshakable composure, and their unwavering commitment to cosmic balance. The stars suddenly concentrated on Goku. Until now. The display vanished, lights returning to the amphitheater. You, son Goku, are everything an angel should not be, Mallory continued, her tone more curious than condemning. Passionate instead of detached. Partisan instead of neutral. Chaotic instead of orderly. Goku wasn't sure if he should feel insulted or not. So, why choose me then? The Grand Minister answered, because the threat we face requires something our perfect neutrality cannot provide, the unpredictability of mortal heart combined with divine power. You speak of Azrael, the bearded angel, Kranoa said gravely. A danger from our distant past. Azrael? Goku repeated. Is that the thing that attacked us? A heavy silence fell over the council. Finally, the Grand Minister nodded. Azrael was once one of us, an angel of the highest order. But he grew too attached to the mortals he observed. He began to interfere, shaping events to protect them, disrupting the natural balance. When confronted, Kranoa continued, he declared our neutrality to be a crime against compassion. He attempted to rewrite the laws that govern angels, to make us protectors rather than observers. That doesn't sound so bad, Goku noted. What's wrong with protecting people? Everything. The red-skinned angel slammed his fist down. The moment angels take sides, the cosmic balance collapses. We cannot decide which mortal lives matter more than others. Forgive Martis, the Grand Minister said. He speaks passionately, but he is correct. Angels must remain neutral to preserve the greater balance that allows all universes to function. Azrael was sealed away, Mallory picked up the story. Stripped of his form but not his power. We believed him contained for eternity. But now he's back, Goku concluded. And he's targeting angels. Not just targeting, absorbing, Kranoa corrected. With each angel he claims, he grows stronger and more coherent. Soon, he will regain physical form. Celestian, who had remained silent until now, stepped forward. Which brings us to the matter at hand. The mortal ascended may indeed provide an advantage due to his unconventional nature. But he must be properly prepared. I agree, Martis said. If he's to stand with us, he must understand our ways. I've already begun his training, the Grand Minister noted. His progress is remarkable. Training in powers, perhaps, Celestian countered. But what of protocol? Cosmic laws? The delicate balance of our interactions with gods and mortals alike. Goku fought the urge to yawn. This sounded like the boring part was always handled while Beerus slept. I propose a qualification test, Celestian continued. Let him demonstrate his worthiness to stand among us. Murmurs of agreement spread through the council. What kind of test? Goku asked, his interest piqued by the prospect of a challenge. Celestian smiled thinly. Combat, of course. Since fighting seems to be the only language you truly understand. Now Goku was definitely interested. I get to fight an angel. For real. Me, specifically, Celestian clarified. I was the runner-up for the position you so casually received. It seems only fair I should test your qualifications. The Grand Minister frowned slightly. Celestian, your rivalry is noted, but unnecessary. Son Goku was chosen for specific qualities. Then he should have no trouble demonstrating them, Celestian replied smoothly. Unless you fear your chosen one will fail. Goku stepped forward before the Grand Minister could respond. I'll do it. I never back down from a challenge. Excellent. Celestian's smile widened. Shall we begin immediately? The Grand Minister sighed. If you insist on this demonstration, let it at least be conducted properly. He tapped his staff, and their surroundings transformed into a vast arena floating in the void. You may proceed. Celestian moved to one end of the arena, Goku to the other. The council members arranged themselves around the perimeter to observe. The rules are simple, the Grand Minister announced. First to yield or become incapacitated loses. No permanent damage to reality is permitted. Goku gripped his staff, excitement building despite the gravity of the situation. He'd always wondered how he'd fare against an angel in all-out combat. Begin. The Grand Minister's voice echoed across the arena. Celestian moved instantly, faster than Goku had ever seen anyone move. One moment he was across the arena, the next he was directly in front of Goku, staff swinging in a graceful arc. Goku barely managed to block, his own staff meeting Celestian's with a thunderous crack. The impact sent shockwaves rippling through the arena. Impressive reflexes, Celestian acknowledged. But reflexes alone aren't enough. He spun away, his staff leaving glowing trails in the air. Each trail suddenly solidified into a spear of divine energy that shot toward Goku from multiple angles. Goku dodged most, deflected others with his staff, but one caught him in the shoulder. Instead of piercing him, it passed through, leaving a strange numbness in its wake. What the? Goku flexed his shoulder, finding it temporarily unresponsive. Divine energy can disrupt your form, Celestian explained, circling slowly. Even angels are vulnerable to properly applied force. Goku quickly adjusted his stance to compensate for the numb arm. Thanks for the tip. He concentrated, drawing on his new powers. If Celestian could create energy constructs, so could he. Goku swung his staff, mimicking what he'd seen. To his surprise, orange energy trails followed the movement, forming solid bow staves that hovered ready at his command. Quick study, Celestian noted, seeming genuinely impressed. But crude execution. Goku grinned. I've always been better at improvising anyway. He sent his energy constructs flying toward Celestian while simultaneously leaping high, preparing an attack from above. Celestian destroyed the constructs with casual flicks of his staff, but Goku had anticipated this. The destroyed constructs exploded into thousands of tiny energy needles that rained down from all directions. Celestian created a dome of energy to block them, exactly as Goku had hoped. Using the momentary distraction, Goku appeared inside Celestian's guard, staff striking upward. The blow connected, sending Celestian tumbling backward. The council members murmured in surprise. Not bad, Celestian admitted, regaining his composure quickly. But you rely too heavily on physical attacks. Angels fight on multiple planes simultaneously. Before Goku could ask what he meant, Celestian tapped his staff against the ground. Suddenly, Goku felt a splitting headache as information flooded his consciousness, complex equations and cosmic principles forced into his mind all at once. Mental combat, Celestian explained, his voice somehow inside Goku's head now. Your physical prowess means nothing if your mind is overwhelmed. Goku gritted his teeth against the onslaught. This was unlike any battle he'd faced before. He couldn't punch or blast his way out of a mental attack. Focus, Goku, he heard the Grand Minister say, though whether aloud or mentally, he couldn't tell. Your Saiyan mind has already adapted to divine consciousness. Use that adaptability now. Goku closed his eyes, concentrating. Rather than fighting the flood of information, he let it flow through him, the way he'd learned to let Ultra Instinct guide his movements. I don't need to understand it, he realized. I just need to let it pass. The mental pressure began to ease as Goku stopped resisting. Opening his eyes, he saw Celestian's surprised expression. Impossible, the angel muttered. No novice should be able to deflect cognitive overload. I've had practice ignoring stuff I don't understand, Goku quipped. Just ask my wife about her shopping lists. Taking advantage of Celestian's surprise, Goku tapped into his old fighting instincts. He feinted left, then struck from the right, his staff connecting solidly with Celestian's midsection. The angel gasped, more from shock than pain. You channeled divine energy through physical combat. Is that what I did? Goku didn't fully understand what had happened, only that he'd followed his instincts. The council leaned forward with greater interest now. Fascinating, Mallory commented. He's intuitively blending Saiyan combat techniques with angelic energy manipulation. Celestian recovered quickly, his expression hardening. Beginner's luck. Let's see how you handle this. He raised his staff, and multiple versions of himself appeared, surrounding Goku. Each duplicate moved independently, attacking from different angles. Goku blocked and dodged frantically, but there were too many. Blows rained down from all sides, each sending painful jolts of divine energy through his body. Having trouble? Celestian's voice came from all directions. This is basic angelic multiplication, a technique taught to novices within their first century. Goku dropped to one knee, breathing hard. His body, despite its divine transformation, ached from the precision strikes. I admit, he panted, you've got some moves I haven't seen before. Of course I do, all the Celestians replied simultaneously. I've trained for millions of years. You've been an angel for less than a month. Goku nodded, then suddenly smiled. But I've been fighting my whole life. He slammed his staff into the ground, sending a pulse of energy outward. The wave passed harmlessly through the illusory duplicates but disrupted the real Celestian's concentration momentarily. That moment was all Goku needed. He vanished from the center of the circle, reappearing directly behind the real Celestian. Before the angel could react, Goku struck, not with his staff, but with a technique he knew intimately. Kamehameha. The blue energy wave, now infused with divine power, caught Celestian square in the back. The angel flew forward, crashing into the arena floor with enough force to crack the seemingly indestructible surface. Silence fell as everyone processed what they'd just witnessed. A mortal technique, performed with angelic energy. Celestian rose slowly, his perfect appearance now disheveled. Impossible, he whispered. You shouldn't be able to use mortal techniques with divine energy. The principles are incompatible. Goku shrugged. Nobody told me that. Because no one thought it needed saying. Celestian straightened his robes indignantly. It violates the fundamental separation between mortal and divine. The Grand Minister approached, examining the effects of Goku's attack with evident curiosity. Not a violation, perhaps. Rather, an innovation. Goku scratched the back of his head. So, did I pass the test? Before anyone could answer, a violent tremor shook the arena. The space between dimensions rippled, and a familiar darkness began to seep through. Azrael, Kranoa whispered, fear evident in his ancient eyes. He's found us. The darkness coalesced, forming the same vague humanoid shape Goku had seen before. This time, however, it appeared more solid, more defined. Features were beginning to form in what might generously be called a face. The prodigal son returns, the entity spoke, its voice clearer than before. With a new toy, no less. The council members formed a defensive circle, staffs raised. You are not welcome here, Azrael, the Grand Minister declared. Return to your prison. My prison? The darkness laughed. You mean the prison you condemned me to for daring to care? For refusing to watch innocents suffer when we had the power to help? Goku stepped forward. You're the one who's been attacking angels. The darkness seemed to notice him properly. Ah, the mortal ascended. How does divinity feel, Scion? Does it burn away your compassion yet? Or do you still cling to your human attachments? I'm still me, Goku replied firmly. And I don't appreciate you threatening my friends and family. Friends, family. Azrael's form rippled with what might have been amusement. They'll take those from you soon enough. Angels don't have such luxuries. That's where you're wrong, Goku countered. The Grand Minister said I can keep my connections. Did he? The darkness expanded slightly. Ask him what happens when your mortal loved ones age and die while you remain unchanged. Ask him how many families he's watched crumble to dust while maintaining his precious neutrality. Goku faltered, glancing at the Grand Minister. He won't tell you the truth, Azrael continued. None of them will. They've forgotten what it means to love, to fear, to grieve. They observe suffering without emotion, and call it balance. Enough. Martis stepped forward. Your poison won't work here, traitor. The scion understands his role. Does he? Azrael's attention shifted to Martis. Or has he simply not considered the cost? I remember you when you were young, Martis. Before you learned to silence your heart. Martis flinched visibly. Goku gripped his staff tighter. What do you want? Why come here now? To offer a choice. The darkness contracted, becoming more concentrated, more powerful. To you specifically, Scion. Join me. Help me remake the role of angels into what it should be, protectors of life, not passive observers of suffering. Don't listen, Celestian warned. This is how he corrupts. Is it corruption to care? Azrael's voice softened. I've seen your heart, son Goku. You've never stood by when the innocent were threatened. You've defied gods and demons alike to protect what you love. Would you surrender that quality now, for them? Goku felt the weight of everyone's attention. The council waited anxiously for his response, while Azrael's darkness pulsed expectantly. You're right about one thing, Goku finally said. I do care about protecting people. I always have. The darkness seemed to lean forward eagerly. But, Goku continued, I don't think kidnapping angels is the way to fix anything. And I definitely don't trust someone who threatens my family. Azrael's form rippled with what might have been disappointment. So you choose them, their cold neutrality over compassionate action. I don't see it that way, Goku replied. I choose my own path. Always have, always will. Noble words. The darkness began to disperse. We shall see if you still speak them when you've watched mortals suffering through immortal eyes. When you understand the true price of neutrality. As Azrael's presence faded, his final words lingered in the air, this isn't over, Scion. Your transformation has only just begun. When the darkness had completely vanished, a collective sigh of relief passed through the council. He's grown stronger, Kranoa observed grimly. More coherent. And more persuasive, Mallory added, glancing at Goku. His words were carefully chosen to target our newest member's doubts. Goku frowned. Was anything he said true? About angels watching their families die? An uncomfortable silence fell over the gathering. Finally, the Grand Minister spoke. Angels experience time differently than mortals. While we can interact with the mortal realm, we exist partially outside it. Your family will indeed age and eventually pass on, while you remain. But that would have happened anyway, Goku reasoned. Scions live longer than humans. I was always gonna outlive Chi-Chi, perhaps, the Grand Minister acknowledged. But not your Scion children, or their children. As an angel, you will endure for eons beyond them all. The reality of immortality, true immortality, finally sank in for Goku. He'd never considered the full implications before. That's the burden of divinity, Celestian said, his earlier antagonism softened by shared experience. We observe the brief, beautiful lives of mortals, knowing we cannot fully share in their existence. But Azrael was wrong about one thing, Mallory added gently. We do not forget how to feel. We simply learn to place those feelings in perspective against the vastness of time. Goku nodded slowly, processing this revelation. I guess I've got a lot more to learn than just fighting techniques. Indeed. The Grand Minister turned to address the council. I believe Son Goku has demonstrated both his power and his character today. Despite Azrael's temptation, he remains committed to our cause while maintaining his unique perspective. Murmurs of agreement spread through the gathering, even from Celestian. Therefore, the Grand Minister continued, I propose we proceed with his formal recognition and assignment. Under the circumstances, I believe he should train directly with Whis, who already understands his mentality. Seconded, Mallory said promptly. Agreed, Kranoa added. The boy has potential, despite his irregularities. One by one, the council members voiced their approval, until only Celestian remained. I admit, he said reluctantly, the scion shows promise. His unorthodox approach may indeed prove valuable against Azrael. He paused. However, I request permission to supplement his training periodically. His command of formal angelic techniques requires refinement. Goku grinned. Sounds like you just want a rematch. Celestian's lips twitched in what might almost have been a smile. Perhaps. The Grand Minister nodded. So be it. Son Goku will train primarily with Whis, with supplementary instruction from Celestian and others as needed. He turned to Goku, his expression solemn. You have taken your first steps into a much larger reality. The path ahead will test not just your power, but your heart. Goku bowed, surprising everyone with the formal gesture. I won't let you down. No, the Grand Minister agreed, I don't believe you will. As the council session concluded, Goku found himself surrounded by angels eager to meet their unusual new colleague. Some remained skeptical, others curious, but all recognized that something unprecedented had occurred, a bridge between mortal and divine had been created. And across the cosmos, in shadows between universes, Azrael watched and waited. The game had only just begun. Chapter 2, The Balance. Goku hovered cross-legged above a gas giant swirling storms, his eyes closed in concentration. 6 rings of cosmic energy rotated around him, each representing a different layer of reality he was monitoring simultaneously. His white hair fluttered in solar winds that would have incinerated any mortal being. And 3, 2, 1. He snapped his fingers. Across 12 universes, time briefly paused, just for a microsecond, but long enough for him to observe the frozen tableau of quintillions of lives in perfect stillness. Not bad, Whis commented, appearing beside him. Though Universe 11 experienced a slight temporal echo. Your precision still needs work. Goku grinned, dismissing the energy rings with a casual wave. Yeah, but 6 months ago I couldn't even freeze time in my own kitchen without giving Chi-Chi a headache. True enough. Whis tapped his staff, creating a glowing chart showing Goku's progress. Your advancement rate remains unprecedented. You've compressed centuries of training into half a year. Having the universe as your gym helps. Goku stretched, his divine form moving with fluid grace that still sometimes surprised him. Plus, I've always been a quick study with new techniques. 6 months into his life as an angel, Goku had settled into a rhythm that balanced his training, duties, and personal life, though not without challenges. His appearance had stabilized, the pale blue skin and white hair no longer felt foreign when he caught his reflection. The angel staff had become an extension of himself, responding to his thoughts almost before he formed them. The Grand Minister is pleased with your progress, Whis continued. Though Celestian continues to file complaints about your creative interpretations of protocol. Goku laughed. He's still mad I called the God of Destruction from Universe 9, grumpy whiskers to his face. Gods of destruction are due certain formal courtesies. He laughed. Eventually. After destroying 3 moons, Whis reminded him. Which you then had to reconstruct. Goku shrugged. Good practice for my creation skills. A notification pulsed from Whis's staff. Speaking of practice, you're due for dimensional traversal training with Mallory in 20 minutes. Right. Goku grabbed his staff, preparing to depart. Oh wait, what time is it on Earth? Whis smiled knowingly. Just past 6 in the evening at Mount Paozu. Dinner time, I believe. Perfect. I promised Goten I'd be there today. Goku's expression grew more serious. I've missed too many lately. The duties of an angel are demanding, Whis said diplomatically. Your family understands. Understanding and accepting aren't the same thing, Goku replied, surprising Whis with his insight. I'll see you at the council meeting tomorrow. With 2 taps of his staff, Goku vanished, leaving behind only a faint trace of divine energy. Whis stared at the empty space, his expression thoughtful. 6 months and already perceiving the difference between understanding and acceptance. Perhaps the Grand Minister was right about you after all, son Goku. Goku materialized in his front yard just as Chi-Chi was setting plates on the outdoor table. The evening was warm, crickets chirping in the surrounding woods. For a moment, he simply watched his wife working, seeing her in ways his mortal eyes never could, the complex energy pathways flowing through her body, the subtle aura of determination that had always been her defining trait. Are you going to help set the table or just stand there staring? Chi-Chi called without turning around. Goku laughed. How'd you know I was here? 6 months with these new powers and you still don't realize your divine energy makes the air smell like lightning? Chi-Chi turned, hands on hips, fighting a smile. I always know when you're home, Goku. He crossed the yard in an instant, pulling her into a hug. She still tensed momentarily at his touch, his skin cooler than before, his presence larger somehow, but quickly relaxed into the embrace. Missed you, he murmured into her hair. You're late. Again. But there was less bite in her words than months ago. Universal time management is tricky, he offered with his most charming smile. But I'm getting better. Dad. Goten's excited shout preceded the boy launching himself from the second-floor window. Goku caught him effortlessly, spinning him around. Hey buddy. Man, did you grow again? Pretty soon you'll be taller than Gohan. No way, Goten giggled. But I'm definitely stronger. I've been training with Trunks every day. Is that why your math homework isn't done? Chi-Chi asked pointedly. Goten's face fell. Ah, Mom. Hey, how about this, Goku suggested. Dinner first, then we'll tackle that homework together, and if we finish early, I'll show you a new technique I learned. A divine technique? Goten's eyes widened with excitement. Something simple, Goku qualified, catching Chi-Chi's warning look. Nothing that'll blow up the house. Like last time, Chi-Chi muttered, though her lips twitched upward. The incident 3 months ago, when Goku had attempted to teach Goten a minor energy manipulation technique that had somehow resulted in their kitchen briefly existing in 2 dimensions simultaneously, had become something of a family joke. After the initial shock and anger had passed, at least. As they settled around the table, Goku noticed the extra place settings. Are Gohan and Videl coming? With Pan, Chi-Chi confirmed. They should be here Grandpa. A blur of motion announced 5-year-old Pan's arrival as she rocketed into the yard, moving with impressive speed for her age. Gohan and Videl followed at a more sedate pace. Goku caught his granddaughter in midair. There's my favorite quarter Saiyan. Have you been practicing that flying technique I showed you? Every day. Pan declared proudly. Daddy says I'm a natural. She takes after her grandfather, Gohan said, approaching with a warm smile. Both granddaughters, actually. Dad, good to see you home. The family settled around the table, falling into comfortable conversation. For a brief time, Goku could almost forget the cosmic responsibilities awaiting him tomorrow. Here, he was just Goku, husband, father, grandfather. The blue skin and white hair were just superficial changes. But as dinner progressed, reminders of his transformation surfaced in small ways. When Pan asked innocent questions about his work, "Do you get to blow up stars, Grandpa?" When Gohan inquired about cosmic phenomena his scientific mind couldn't help but be curious about, when Chi-Chi noted how he went through the motions of eating without actually needing the nourishment. So you're really just eating for the taste? Videl asked, fascinated. Your body doesn't need the energy anymore. Nope. But Chi-Chi's cooking is too good to give up, Goku said, shoveling another helping of rice into his mouth. Plus, it feels normal, you know. Does anything feel normal anymore? The question slipped out of Chi-Chi before she could stop it, quieter than she'd intended but heard by everyone. An awkward silence fell over the table. Mom. Gohan began gently. It's okay, Goku set down his chopsticks. It's a fair question. He met Chi-Chi's eyes across the table. Some things are different now. I see stuff I couldn't see before. I go places no human could survive. I have responsibilities that take me away from home more than I want. He reached across the table to take her hand. But how I feel about all of you, that's still completely normal. That hasn't changed at all. Chi-Chi squeezed his hand, blinking back tears. I just miss having you around. We all do. I know. I'm trying to figure out how to balance everything. Balance, Gohan repeated thoughtfully. That's what angels are supposed to maintain, right? Cosmic balance. Goku nodded. That's what they keep telling me, anyway. Maybe you need to apply that concept to your own life, Videl suggested. Find a balance between your angel duties and your family. I'm trying, Goku assured them. It's just complicated. The conversation shifted to lighter topics after that, but Goku noticed Chi-Chi's eyes lingering on him throughout the evening, searching for something, perhaps the husband she'd known for decades beneath the divine exterior. Later, after homework was completed, with more patience than Goku had ever shown for academic matters, and the promised technique demonstrated, creating small luminous butterflies that Pan chased delightedly around the yard, Goku found himself alone with Chi-Chi on the porch swing. They miss you, she said softly, watching the stars. We all do. I miss you too. Every day. He wrapped an arm around her shoulders. Time moves differently for me now. Sometimes I'm monitoring a galaxy for what feels like minutes, and suddenly 3 Earth days have passed. Is it worth it? Chi-Chi asked, looking up at him. All this power, all this responsibility, is it making you happy, Goku? He considered the question seriously. I'm not sure happy is the right word. I feel purposeful. Like I'm doing something important. And the fighting challenges are incredible. He grinned. You should see some of the training sessions with other angels. Makes the tournament of power look like a warm-up. Chi-Chi smiled faintly. That does sound like something you'd enjoy. But I'm happiest right here, he added honestly. With you and the boys and Pan. That's never going to change, Chi-Chi, she leaned against him, silent for a moment. You know what the hardest part is? Knowing you'll stay like this forever, while I... She gestured to the faint lines around her eyes. I'm already getting older, Goku. You're beautiful, he said immediately. Always have been, always will be. That's not the point. She sighed. You'll outlive me by, what, thousands of years? Millions? What happens when I'm gone? When Gohan and Goten are gone? Goku tightened his hold on her. I don't know, he admitted. I try not to think about it. That's very you, she said, but there was fondness in her voice. Living in the moment. Is that so bad? No, she conceded. It's one of the things I've always loved about you. But sometimes, Goku, the future needs planning for. Before he could respond, a subtle vibration ran through his staff, which he'd propped against the porch railing. Celestial frequencies only he could perceive indicated an urgent summons. Chi-Chi felt him tense. You have to go. I'm sorry, he said, genuine regret in his voice. It's the council. Something's happened. She nodded, pulling away slightly. Go. Save the universe or whatever it is this time. Goku hesitated. Chi-Chi, about what you said, we'll talk when you get back, she interrupted, forcing a smile. Duty calls, right? He stood reluctantly, retrieving his staff. I'll come back as soon as I can. Promise. I know. She remained on the swing as he prepared to depart. Goku. Be careful out there. He gave her his trademark grin. Always am. With a tap of his staff, he vanished, leaving Chi-Chi alone on the porch, staring at the stars that her husband now moved among as casually as he once roamed the mountains of Earth. The emergency council session was already underway when Goku arrived. The crystal amphitheater hummed with tense energy as angels from across the multiverse spoke in urgent tones. Third incident this month, Martis was saying, his red skin darkened with concern. And moving closer to the divine realm each time, added Kranoa, stroking his long beard anxiously. Whis noticed Goku's arrival first. Ah, perfect timing. We were just discussing the latest anomaly. Goku approached the central platform where a holographic display showed a distant galaxy in the process of being rewritten, somehow. Stars and planets remained physically intact, but the very laws governing their existence were shifting before their eyes. What am I looking at? He asked, studying the strange phenomenon. Universe 3, Quadrant Zeta, Mallory explained, her star-flecked face grim. A region containing approximately 50 billion sentient lives. The local physical constants are being altered, the Grand Minister continued. Gravity, electromagnetic forces, even the strong nuclear force, all shifting toward a new equilibrium. Is that bad? Goku asked cautiously. It's unprecedented, Celestian corrected. Reality doesn't spontaneously rewrite itself. Something, or someone, is causing this. Azrael, Goku concluded. But why? What's he trying to accomplish? The Grand Minister manipulated the display, zooming in on a particular solar system. Observe the pattern of changes. Life-supporting worlds are being enhanced, their atmospheres optimized, radiation shields strengthened. Resources multiplied. He's helping them. Goku sounded confused. At the cost of cosmic balance, Whis explained. For these worlds to gain, others must lose. It's a zero-sum equation across universal boundaries. The display shifted to show another galaxy, this one withering, its stars dimming prematurely. Universe 7, Whis said quietly. Your home universe, Goku. The energy being siphoned from these systems is fueling the changes in Universe 3. Goku's expression hardened. So he's stealing from my home to power his changes elsewhere. Why? Politics, Celestian said bluntly. Universe 3 has been historically aligned with Azrael's philosophy. Their gods tend toward interventionism, their mortals toward technological dominance. Universe 7, your universe, has always represented the opposite approach. Great, even cosmic entities play favorites, Goku muttered. This isn't merely preference, the Grand Minister corrected. It's strategy. Azrael is establishing a power base, beginning with universes sympathetic to his cause. And with each success, more will flock to his banner, Mallory added grimly. Gods, mortals, perhaps even angels who secretly question our neutrality. Do many angels feel that way? Goku asked, suddenly curious. Questioning neutrality, I mean. An uncomfortable silence fell over the gathering. Angels exchanged meaningful glances, communicating in that wordless way Goku was still learning to interpret. It is, not uncommon, the Grand Minister finally admitted, for younger angels especially to question the wisdom of non-interference when confronted with mortal suffering. Most grow out of such sentimentality, Celestian added dismissively. Or learn to channel it properly, Whis countered, giving Celestian a pointed look. Compassion and duty need not be mutually exclusive. This philosophical debate, while fascinating, doesn't address our immediate problem, Kranoa interrupted. What are we going to do about Universe 3? All eyes turned to the Grand Minister, who seemed uncharacteristically hesitant. Standard protocol would dictate observation only, he began slowly. The changes, while concerning, have not yet disrupted the fundamental balance between creation and destruction. With respect, Whis interjected, waiting for such disruption may prove catastrophic. Azrael's power grows with each successful alteration. Then we should intervene immediately, Martis declared. Restore the original constants, reinforce the boundary conditions. And the 50 billion lives that have benefited from these changes? Mallory questioned. Many would not survive the reversion. Regrettable but necessary, Celestian stated flatly. Cosmic balance outweighs individual existences. Goku, who had been listening intently, finally spoke up. Wait, you're talking about sacrificing 50 billion people to maintain some abstract concept of balance? It is not abstract, the Grand Minister corrected gently. Without balance, reality itself becomes unstable. Trillions more could perish if unchecked cascade failures occur across universal boundaries. Goku frowned, trying to process the enormity of the situation. There has to be another way. Something that doesn't involve mass death on either side. Always the mortal perspective, Celestian sighed. Focusing on individual trees while the forest burns. Those trees are people, Goku shot back. With families, dreams, lives that matter to them even if they seem insignificant to you. Your compassion does you credit, the Grand Minister said, but cosmic governance requires difficult decisions. The needs of the many across all universes must outweigh the needs of comparatively few, even when those few number in billions. Goku crossed his arms, staff still clutched in one hand. I don't accept that. There's always another option if you're willing to look for it. And what would you suggest? Celestian challenged. Given your vast experience in multiversal maintenance. Goku studied the holographic display, focusing on the boundary between the enhanced and declining regions. What if instead of reversing everything, we just stop the transfer? Cut off Azrael's power source but leave the changes already made? The angels exchanged surprised glances. That would require containing the altered region within a temporal stasis field, Whis mused, considering the idea. Challenging, but potentially viable. The energy imbalance would remain, Celestian objected. But it wouldn't grow worse, Mallory countered, warming to Goku's suggestion. And given time, we could gradually correct it without catastrophic loss of life. A compromise, the Grand Minister said thoughtfully. Unorthodox, but perhaps appropriate under the circumstances. I volunteer to lead the containment team, Goku said immediately. It was my idea, after all. You lack experience for such a delicate operation, Celestian protested. But he possesses determination and creativity, Whis countered. Both valuable assets when confronting Azrael's unpredictable methods. The Grand Minister nodded slowly. Very well. Son Goku will lead the operation, with Whis, Mallory, and... He paused, eyes twinkling slightly, Celestian providing support. Celestian looked like he'd bitten into something sour but nodded stiffly. As you wish, Grand Minister. The rest of the Council will monitor for similar disturbances across other universes, the Grand Minister continued. We must determine if this is an isolated incident or part of a coordinated assault. As the meeting concluded and angels departed to their assignments, Whis pulled Goku aside. That was well handled, he said quietly. You're learning to navigate council politics. Goku shrugged. I just said what made sense to me. Letting billions die without even trying to find another way seemed wrong. Many would consider such moral absolutism naive in cosmic governance. Maybe, Goku conceded. But if becoming an angel means giving up what I believe is right, then what's the point of having all this power in the first place? Whis studied him with newfound respect. A perspective worth considering. Now, shall we prepare for our mission? Lord Beerus will need to be informed of our temporary absence. Goku groaned. He's not gonna be happy about that. Indeed not, Whis agreed cheerfully. Which is why you'll be the one to tell him. Beerus's planet looked the same as always, lush, otherworldly, and designed primarily for the comfort of its sole permanent resident. As Goku and Whis approached the massive tree containing Beerus's palace, they could hear the unmistakable sound of destruction energy being unleashed. Sounds like he's awake and cranky, Goku observed. Lord Beerus has been, restless since your promotion, Whis explained diplomatically. The shift in our dynamic has been an adjustment for him. They found the god of destruction in his training area, systematically obliterating targets with precise Hakai blasts. His ears twitched as they approached, but he didn't immediately acknowledge them. "Hey Beerus." Goku called casually. "Working up a sweat, huh?" Beerus destroyed one final target before turning, his expression irritable. 6 months as an angel, and you still haven't learned proper address protocols. It's Lord Beerus to you. Sorry, force of habit, Goku replied without sounding particularly sorry. How've you been? Beerus's eyes narrowed. Bored. Neglected. Increasingly irritable. Take your pick. Lord Beerus feels his position has been diminished since your elevation, Whis explained. Gods of destruction typically command the respect and service of angels, not the other way around. I don't serve anybody, Goku pointed out. Precisely the problem, Beerus growled. The natural order has been disrupted. A former mortal now walks among angels as an equal, while gods of destruction are expected to carry on as if nothing has changed. Goku scratched his head. I didn't think it bothered you that much. You never seemed to care about hierarchy before. I didn't, Beerus admitted, stalking around Goku in a circle. Until I was suddenly receiving fewer updates about delicious earth cuisines because my attendant was busy training you in the divine arts. Is that what this is about? Food? Goku couldn't help laughing. Beerus's eyes flashed dangerously. Mock me at your peril, angel. I may not be able to destroy you anymore, but I can make your existence extremely unpleasant. Lord Beerus, Whis intervened smoothly, perhaps we should discuss the reason for our visit. There have been developments requiring our attention. Beerus's ears perked up. What kind of developments? As Whis explained the situation in Universe 3, Beerus's irritation gradually shifted to genuine concern. By the time Whis described their upcoming mission, the god of destruction was pacing thoughtfully. Azrael, he muttered. I remember the stories. Before my time, of course, but every god of destruction is taught about the angel who rebelled. You know about him? Goku asked, surprised. Of course I do. What do you think we discuss at God of Destruction conventions? Tournament brackets and destruction techniques. Beerus snorted. History and politics are part of the job. I've tried explaining this to him, Whis said to Goku. Lord Beerus is quite scholarly when he isn't napping. So what's your plan? Beerus demanded. Besides this containment field nonsense. Goku blinked. That is the plan. That's not a plan. That's a band-aid. Beerus threw up his hands in exasperation. Azrael isn't going to stop because you put up a cosmic do not cross line. He's testing boundaries, probing for weaknesses. Lord Beerus makes an excellent point, Whis acknowledged. Containment is merely the first step. We need to understand Azrael's ultimate objective. I thought that was obvious, Beerus scoffed. He wants to rewrite the role of angels. Make them active participants in mortal affairs rather than observers and advisors. But why now? Goku wondered. He's been imprisoned for, how long? Approximately 5 billion years, Whis supplied. Right, so why escape now? What changed? Beerus and Whis exchanged a meaningful look. You did, Beerus said bluntly. The first mortal-to-angel transformation in cosmic history. That's exactly the kind of disruption Azrael would seize upon. Me? Goku pointed to himself. But I didn't do anything to help him escape. Not intentionally, Whis clarified. But your ascension created ripples throughout the divine hierarchy. Old questions resurfaced, ancient debates reignited. If a mortal can become an angel, Beerus continued, then perhaps other fundamental cosmic laws aren't as immutable as everyone believed. Goku frowned, processing this. So I'm responsible for Azrael breaking free? Not responsible, Whis corrected. But perhaps catalytic. Your transformation may have weakened the barriers of his prison enough for him to exploit. Great, Goku muttered. So it's my fault. Self-recrimination is pointless, Beerus said dismissively. What matters now is how you respond. Azrael will be watching you closely, Goku. Your choices, your actions, they'll either validate his rebellion or refute it. No pressure, Goku said dryly. Actually, Beerus continued, his expression turning calculating, this presents an opportunity. I'd like to accompany you on this mission. What? Goku and Whis spoke simultaneously. You heard me. Beerus crossed his arms. This affects my universe as well. Besides, when was the last time a god of destruction worked directly alongside angels on a cosmic maintenance operation? Never, Whis said promptly. It's explicitly forbidden by the Cosmic Charter, Section 7, Paragraph, exactly. Beerus interrupted triumphantly. If Goku can break precedent by becoming an angel, why can't I break precedent by joining an angelic mission? If we're rewriting cosmic rules, let's really shake things up. Goku stared at Beerus, then broke into a grin. I like it. You're right, we need to think differently if we're going to beat Azrael at his own game. The council will never approve, Whis cautioned. So we don't tell them until after, Beerus suggested with a mischievous smile. Present them with a successful mission and a new paradigm of cooperation. Hard to argue with results, isn't it? This is highly irregular, Whis protested, though Goku detected a note of intrigue in his voice. Irregular is my specialty, Goku said cheerfully. Besides, Beerus makes a good point about Azrael watching me. Maybe seeing angels and a god of destruction working together will send a message that change doesn't have to mean rebellion. Whis sighed in resignation. I can see I'm outvoted. Very well, Lord Beerus may accompany us, but you, he pointed at the god of destruction, must follow our lead and refrain from unnecessary destruction. When have I ever engaged in unnecessary destruction? Beerus asked innocently. Whis merely raised an eyebrow. Fine, Beerus conceded. I'll be on my best behavior. Now, when do we leave? We rendezvous with Mallory and Celestian at the Dimensional Nexus in 1 hour, Whis replied. Which gives you just enough time to eat before departure. Beerus's mood immediately improved. Excellent. Goku, since you don't technically need food anymore, I'll happily take your portion. Hey, I still eat for fun. Goku protested. As they headed toward Beerus's dining hall, Goku found himself reflecting on how quickly relationships could evolve. 6 months ago, Beerus had been an intimidating deity, far above Goku's station. Now they were closer to equals, sharing cosmic responsibilities and metaphysical jokes. Yet something in Beerus's eyes, a flicker of what might have been loneliness, reminded Goku that change wasn't always easy, even for gods. The balance of power had shifted, and everyone was still finding their footing in this new reality. The dimensional nexus existed at the crossroads of universes, a swirling maelstrom of cosmic energy where the barriers between realities grew thin. Goku, Whis, and Beerus arrived to find Mallory already there, her star-flecked face illuminated by the shifting lights of the nexus. You're late, she observed, then noticed Beerus. And you've brought unexpected company. Lord Beerus insisted on joining our mission, Whis explained smoothly. Given the potential impact on Universe 7, his concern is understandable. Mallory's eyebrows rose. The council approved this? Let's say approval is pending successful demonstration of concept, Beerus replied with a smirk. Before Mallory could respond, Celestian appeared in a flash of light, his perfect posture immediately stiffening at the sight of Beerus. Absolutely not, he declared without preamble. Gods of destruction do not participate in angelic operations. It violates at least 17 cosmic protocols. Good to see you too, Celestian, Beerus drawled. Still counting rules instead of asking whether they make sense. The rules exist for a reason, Celestian snapped. Cosmic balance depends on clear separation of duties. Does it? Goku interjected. Or is that just what everyone's been taught? Because from where I stand, all these divisions seem pretty arbitrary. Says the former mortal who barely understands our basic function, Celestian retorted. Exactly. Goku agreed, surprising the other angel. I don't have centuries of tradition clouding my judgment. I'm looking at this with fresh eyes, and what I see is a bunch of powerful beings who could accomplish a lot more by working together instead of staying in their separate boxes. A moment of silence followed his words. He makes a compelling point, Mallory admitted reluctantly. And given the unprecedented nature of our opponent, perhaps unprecedented methods are warranted. Celestian still looked unconvinced, but nodded stiffly. Very well. But any destruction must be precisely controlled and authorized by us first. Is that clear, Lord Beerus? Beerus yawned dramatically. Crystal clear. Now, shall we proceed with this mission, or would you prefer to lecture me some more about protocols? Mallory stepped forward, taking charge of the briefing. With a wave of her staff, she conjured a detailed map of Universe 3's affected region. Our objective is to create a temporal stasis field around this entire sector, she explained, indicating the boundaries. The field must be precisely calibrated to halt further alterations while preserving existing conditions. That's a massive area, Goku observed. Can 4 angels generate enough power for that? 4 angels and a god of destruction, Whis corrected. And yes, it will strain our capabilities, which is why precise coordination is essential. Mallory continued, we'll establish 5 anchor points at these coordinates, creating a pentagonal containment barrier. Each of us will maintain one anchor while simultaneously channeling energy to the others. Like a cosmic game of tug-of-war, Goku suggested. A surprisingly apt analogy, Celestian admitted. And like tug-of-war, if any one of us fails, the entire structure collapses. No pressure, Goku muttered for the second time that day. What about Azrael? Beerus asked. He's unlikely to sit idly by while we disrupt his work. A valid concern, Whis acknowledged. We must be prepared for interference. I'll handle Azrael if he shows up, Goku volunteered. You 3 focus on maintaining the barrier. You. Celestian scoffed. You're the least experienced among us. But the most unpredictable, Mallory countered thoughtfully. Azrael has eons of experience countering traditional angelic techniques. Goku's hybrid fighting style might actually prove advantageous. Then it's settled, Goku said before Celestian could object further. Let's do this. With a synchronized tap of their staffs, the 4 angels and Beerus transported themselves to Universe 3, materializing at precisely calculated coordinates surrounding the affected region. From his position, Goku could see countless worlds glittering below, their enhanced atmospheres shimmering with unnatural perfection. Begin on my mark, Whis' voice echoed through their divine connection. 3, 2, 1, now. Goku plunged his staff into the fabric of spacetime, channeling divine energy into the cosmic substrate. Immediately, he felt the connection form with the others, Whis' precise control, Mallory's ancient wisdom, Celestian's rigid discipline, and surprisingly, Beerus' destructive potential converted into a stabilizing force. Energy flowed between them, forming luminous strands that began to weave into a containment field. The sensation was unlike anything Goku had experienced, as if he had become part of a single organism with 5 minds working in concert. Maintain steady output, Mallory instructed as the barrier began to take shape. Don't push too hard or you'll disrupt the balance. Goku adjusted his energy flow, finding the sweet spot between effort and control. 6 months of training hadn't prepared him for this level of precision, but his battle instincts helped him adapt quickly. The field is approximately 20% complete, Celestian reported. Estimated time to completion, 17 minutes. Too slow, Beerus grunted, his destruction energy creating purple ripples in the barrier. He'll detect us before we finish. As if summoned by Beerus's words, a disturbance rippled through the fabric of reality. The space between Goku and Mallory darkened, reality itself seeming to fold inward. "He's here," Whis confirmed grimly. "Continue the procedure. Do not break formation." The darkness coalesced into the now familiar form of Azrael, more defined than before, with distinct facial features emerging from the void-like visage. He surveyed their work with what appeared to be amused interest. "A containment field," he observed, his voice smoother than during their previous encounters. "How quaint. And predictable." "Yeah, well, we're not big on surprises," Goku called out, maintaining his position despite the urge to confront Azrael directly. "Unlike you, sneaking around rewriting reality when nobody's looking." Azrael's attention fixed on Goku. "The Scion Angel. Still playing by their rules, I see. How disappointing." "Not their rules," Goku corrected. "Our rules. I'm part of the team now." "Are you?" Azrael drifted closer, examining the energy Goku was channeling. "Then why are you holding back?" "I can sense it, the power you're afraid to unleash." "Ignore him, Goku," Whis cautioned. "He seeks to disrupt your concentration." Azrael laughed, the sound sending ripples through the forming barrier. "Yes, listen to your handler. Remain contained, controlled, neutered of your true potential. Just as they want you." Goku gritted his teeth, forcing himself to focus on maintaining the energy flow. "Nice try, but I've heard better trash talk at martial arts tournaments. This is not mere provocation." Azrael expanded slightly, darkness spreading outward. "This is truth. They fear what you represent, change, evolution, the bridge between mortal passion and divine power. The barrier is destabilizing on the eastern quadrant," Celestian reported urgently. "Goku, reinforce your connection." Goku poured more energy into his staff, feeling the strain as he fought to maintain the delicate balance. Sweat beaded on his forehead despite his divine form's usual resistance to physical discomfort. Azrael continued his psychological assault. "They will never accept you as one of them, Scion. You are a tool, a temporary solution to a problem of their own making." "Not working," Goku managed through clenched teeth. "I know exactly what I am." "Do you?" Azrael's form rippled with what might have been amusement. "Then perhaps I should demonstrate what they aren't telling you." The darkness surged toward the barrier, not attacking it directly but rather flowing into its structure. Wherever Azrael's essence touched, the barrier's energy shifted, becoming visible in new ways, revealing complex patterns and embedded commands that Goku hadn't noticed before. "Do you see it now?" Azrael asked. "The containment field isn't just to isolate my changes, it contains monitoring protocols, behavioral modifiers for the affected populations. Control mechanisms." Goku faltered, his concentration wavering as he processed this revelation. "What? Whis, is that true?" "Maintain your position, Goku," Whis replied, not directly answering the question. "They never told you the full plan," Azrael pressed. "Standard angelic procedure, compartmentalized information, need-to-know basis. You're contributing to a system of control, not protection." "Don't listen to him," Celestian barked. "The barrier must be completed." But Goku was already examining the energy patterns with his enhanced perception, and what he saw troubled him. Interwoven with the containment protocols were indeed subtle influence matrices, divine algorithms designed to gradually reshape the thinking patterns of the affected populations. "This isn't just containment," he realized aloud. "You're planning to make them forget the changes ever happened. To rewrite their memories." "A necessary component," Mallory admitted reluctantly. "The altered populations cannot be permitted to retain knowledge of Azrael's interference. It would disrupt their natural development." "You said we were preserving the changes," Goku protested. "You never mentioned mind control." "And now you see," Azrael said softly. The true face of angelic neutrality, manipulating mortals for their own good, deciding what they should know, how they should develop. Enough. Beerus roared, his destruction energy flaring. We can debate ethics after we've prevented a cosmic catastrophe. Goku, maintain the barrier or billions die. The God of Destruction's words cut through Goku's moral dilemma. Whatever his concerns about the Angel's methods, abandoning the mission now would doom countless innocent lives. This isn't over, he warned Whis, before refocusing his energy into the barrier. Azrael observed this decision with what appeared to be disappointment. Still clinging to their path. Very well, if reason won't convince you, perhaps a more direct approach will. The darkness surrounding Azrael suddenly contracted, then exploded outward in tendrils of void-like energy. One tendril shot toward each angel and Beerus, aiming not to injure but to disrupt their concentration. Goku reacted instantly, his staff sweeping in a wide arc that intercepted the tendrils directed at both himself and Mallory. Keep working, he shouted to the others. I've got this. With one hand maintaining his connection to the barrier, Goku used his free hand to channel energy through his body in a way that felt instinctively right, a blend of his Scion Ki manipulation and angelic power. The combination created a shield of orange-blue energy that deflected Azrael's attacks. Interesting, Azrael commented. You've begun integrating your mortal techniques with divine power. Crude, but effective. I'm full of surprises, Goku replied, expanding his shield to cover Beerus as well. Something you and the Council have in common, you both keep underestimating me. Whis and Celestian had created their own defenses, allowing the barrier formation to continue despite Azrael's interference. 50% complete, Celestian reported. Accelerating convergence. Azrael's attacks intensified, the darkness becoming more solid, more focused. You cannot contain me. I am as old as the system itself. I helped design the very protocols you're using against me. With frightening precision, he targeted the weakest junctions in their forming barrier, forcing the angels to constantly reinforce different sections. It was like trying to patch a dam while water burst through in new places each time. Goku felt himself being stretched thin, dividing his attention between maintaining his section of the barrier, defending against Azrael's attacks, and protecting Mallory and Beerus. Sweat poured down his face as his divine energy reserves, vast but not limitless, began to deplete. We need to change tactics, he called to Whis. We're losing ground. Suggestions welcome, Whis replied tightly, his usual composure showing cracks under the strain. Goku thought quickly, analyzing the battle with both his warrior's instinct and his new angelic perception. Azrael wasn't trying to destroy the barrier, he was forcing them to exhaust themselves maintaining it. He's playing the long game, Goku realized. Wearing us down until we can't hold the formation. Perceptive, Azrael acknowledged. Angels think in eons, but my imprisonment taught me patience beyond even their understanding. An idea struck Goku, risky, unorthodox, but potentially game-changing. Beerus, he called. Remember that destruction wave technique you used in the Tournament of Power? The one you couldn't fully control. Beerus's eyes widened with understanding. Are you insane? That could destabilize the entire sector. Not if we channel it properly, Goku insisted. Trust me. After a moment's hesitation, Beerus nodded. On your mark. Goku turned to Whis and the others. When I give the signal, pour everything you have into the barrier, maximum output for exactly 3 seconds, then pull back completely. That will create a massive energy surge followed by a vacuum, Celestian protested. The barrier will collapse. That's the idea, Goku confirmed. Ready? Now. All 4 angels simultaneously channeled their full power into the barrier, causing it to flare with blinding intensity. Azrael recoiled slightly, his darkness dispersing to avoid the energy surge. 3, 2, 1. Pull back. Goku shouted. As the angels withdrew their energy, creating a momentary power vacuum in the barrier structure, Beerus unleashed his most devastating attack, a sphere of pure destruction energy that expanded rapidly to fill the void left by the angel's withdrawal. Hakai Wave, the god of destruction, roared. The purple energy of destruction collided with Azrael's darkness just as the barrier structure began to collapse. Instead of dissipating, however, the barrier absorbed Beerus's destruction energy, incorporating it into its matrix. Reconnect. Goku commanded, plunging his staff back into position. The others followed suit immediately. What emerged was unlike any containment field ever created, a barrier infused with both angelic creation energy and Hakai destruction power, pulsing with a balanced purple-white light that expanded rapidly to encompass the entire affected region. Azrael's darkness writhed against this unexpected development, finding itself repelled by the destruction aspect of the barrier that even his ancient knowledge hadn't prepared him for. Impossible, he hissed. Angels and destruction energy cannot coexist in harmonic resonance. Guess nobody told the energy that, Goku replied with a grin, feeling the barrier stabilize as the hybrid energies found equilibrium. Sometimes you have to break the rules to make something new. The containment field locked into place with a final surge of power, sealing the affected region in a stable temporal stasis that preserved Azrael's enhancements while preventing further spread. More importantly, the destruction component of the barrier neutralized the memory modification protocols that had been embedded in the original design. Azrael's form contracted, his manifestation weakening as the barrier cut him off from the energy he'd been manipulating. Clever, Scion, he acknowledged. Using destruction to preserve rather than annihilate. Perhaps there is hope for you yet. Just doing my job, Goku replied. My way. This is merely one battle in a much larger war. Azrael's form began to dissipate. But you've given me something to consider. Until we meet again. With those words, the darkness collapsed in on itself, vanishing from their perception. The 5 warriors maintained their positions, reinforcing the barrier until they were certain of its stability. Containment successful, was finally announced. The barrier is self-sustaining. Goku released a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding, dropping his hands to his sides. The exertion had taken more out of him than he'd expected, his first real test as an angel in combat conditions. That was unorthodox, Celestian said, approaching Goku with an unreadable expression. But effective, Mallory added, a hint of approval in her voice. I told you bringing me along was a good idea, Beerus said smugly, though he too looked drained from the effort. Goku turned to Whis, his expression serious despite their victory. You need to explain about those memory protocols. Why didn't you tell me the full plan? Whis sighed. It was an oversight. In traditional angelic operations, such details are understood without requiring explicit discussion. I forgot that you wouldn't be familiar with standard containment procedures. That's not good enough, Goku insisted. I need to know exactly what I'm participating in. No more compartmentalized information, no more need-to-know basis. If I'm an angel now, I deserve the whole truth. The other angels exchanged glances, clearly uncomfortable with this demand. Goku is right, Beerus said unexpectedly. This hybrid approach, angels working with a god of destruction, creation and destruction energies in harmony, it only worked because we broke from tradition. Perhaps other traditions need re-examining as well. After a long moment, Whis nodded. I will speak with the Grand Minister about greater transparency in future operations. Your perspective is valuable, even when uncomfortable. Goku accepted this with a nod, though he made a mental note to verify everything more carefully going forward. Azrael's revelations, while clearly designed to manipulate him, contained enough truth to raise legitimate concerns. As they prepared to return to the divine realm, Mallory approached Goku. That technique, combining your Scion energy manipulation with angelic power, I've never seen anything like it. Just improvising, Goku shrugged. Seemed like the right move at the time. It's more significant than you realize, she insisted. You're not just using angel powers, you're integrating them with your mortal techniques in ways we never considered possible. That may prove to be our greatest advantage against Azrael. Before Goku could respond, an urgent alert pulsed through all their staffs simultaneously, a priority summons from the Grand Minister. What now? Beerus groaned. Whis' expression grew grave as he interpreted the signal. Multiple incursions. Azrael is launching simultaneous attacks across 7 universes. 7. Celestian's perfect composure cracked. That's impossible. He couldn't have amassed that much power already. Unless, Mallory said slowly, he's not working alone. The implications hung heavily in the air as they hastily opened a portal back to the divine realm. Their victory here suddenly felt hollow, not an end, but merely the opening move in a much larger conflict. As they stepped through the portal, Goku cast one last look at the contained region of Universe 3, billions of lives preserved in a bubble of hybrid energy that defied cosmic convention. He'd saved them, yes, but at what cost to the larger balance? For the first time since his transformation, Goku felt the true weight of divinity, the responsibility of choices that affected entire universes, the moral complexity that couldn't be resolved with a well-placed Kamehameha. He was an angel now, for better or worse, and the coming war would test not just his power, but his very identity. Somewhere across the cosmic divide, he sensed Azrael watching, waiting, planning his next move. And despite everything, a part of Goku, the part that had always relished a challenge, couldn't help but look forward to their next encounter. The game, as Azrael had said, had only just begun. Chapter 3, The Revolution. Goku materialized in the council chamber to find utter chaos. Angels rushed in all directions, their usual composed demeanor shattered. Holographic displays floated throughout the space showing simultaneous attacks across multiple universes, reality itself warping under Azrael's assault. About time, Beerus muttered beside him as they took in the scene. The Grand Minister stood at the center of the storm, issuing rapid commands to angels who immediately vanished to carry out their assignments. His normally serene face was etched with concern. "Son Goku," he acknowledged as they approached. "The situation has deteriorated significantly." "Yeah, I can see that." Goku scanned the holographic displays. 7 universes under attack at once? How's that even possible? The Grand Minister's eyes narrowed. Azrael has found allies. Other angels? Whis asked, clearly disturbed by the possibility. Not just angels. The Grand Minister waved his staff, bringing forward a particular display. Observe. The image showed a god of destruction, not one Goku recognized, fighting alongside shadowy figures against loyal angels. The rogue deity unleashed Hakai energy that the shadows somehow absorbed and redirected, amplified with Azrael's distinct energy signature. No way, Goku breathed. Gods of destruction working with Azrael? Why would they do that? For the same reason some angels might sympathize with his cause, Mallory explained grimly. The promise of greater freedom, of breaking free from cosmic constraints. The balance is breaking down faster than anticipated, the Grand Minister continued. We're losing control of multiple sectors. Universe 6 is particularly compromised, Kampa is missing. Beerus stiffened. My brother? What happened to him? Unknown. His angel attendant reported an ambush during an inspection of the galactic core. Both were attacked, but only the angel escaped. Beerus's destruction aura flared dangerously. I'm going to Universe 6. Now. Your concern is understandable, the Grand Minister replied, but we need coordinated action, not independent. He's my brother. Beerus snarled. Rivalry or not, no one touches a god of destruction from my family line. Whis placed a calming hand on Beerus's shoulder. Lord Beerus, we will find Kampa. But rushing in without information would be unwise. Before Beerus could reply, new alarms blared through the chamber. A senior angel, Kranoa, Goku remembered, rushed to the Grand Minister's side. 2 more angels lost in Universe 11, he reported breathlessly. And something new, the corruption is spreading to their assigned sectors. Reality destabilization accelerating. The Grand Minister's expression darkened. The attacks were merely a diversion. His true target is the angels themselves. He's absorbing them somehow, Mallory realized. Using their power to fuel his campaign. Goku studied the displays, his tactical mind processing the patterns. It's not random. These attacks, they're strategically placed. He pointed to specific locations. These are all connection points in the cosmic network, right? Major intersections where multiple realities overlap. The angels stared at him in surprise. How did you know that? Celestian demanded. Goku shrugged. 6 months of angel training, remember? Plus, it's basic battle strategy, control the key positions, divide your enemy's forces. The Grand Minister nodded slowly. You're correct. Azrael is targeting the structural pillars of reality itself. If he controls these nexus points, he can begin rewriting fundamental laws across all universes simultaneously. Then we need to defend those points, Goku said simply. We've already dispatched all available angels, Kranoa replied. We're stretched too thin. Goku's expression turned serious. Then we need more help. From whom? Celestian scoffed. This is an angelic matter. Not anymore, Goku countered. Not when entire universes are at risk. We need to call in everyone who can fight, Supreme Kais, the remaining loyal gods of destruction. He hesitated, then plunged ahead, and mortals. The strongest warriors from across the universes. A shocked silence fell over the gathering. Absolutely not, Celestian finally spluttered. Involving mortals in divine conflicts violates the most fundamental separation between realms. That separation is exactly what Azrael is fighting against, Goku pointed out. Maybe he's wrong about how to fix things, but he's right that these divisions aren't working. He turned to the Grand Minister directly. Our mission succeeded because we broke the rules, because we combined angel and destruction energy in ways nobody thought possible. We need to keep thinking outside the box. The Grand Minister studied Goku thoughtfully. You propose a coalition across traditional boundaries. Unprecedented, but these are unprecedented times. It's not just tactical, Goku continued, warming to his argument. It's symbolic. If Azrael is recruiting gods and maybe angels to his cause by promising to break down barriers, let's show there's another way, cooperation without chaos, unity without uniformity. Whis looked at Goku with newfound respect. An elegant solution. It's insanity, Celestian countered. Mortals cannot comprehend cosmic conflicts. They would be destroyed instantly. You're underestimating them, Goku replied firmly. I was mortal not long ago, remember? Some mortals are stronger than you think. The mortal warriors of Universe 7 have repeatedly surpassed expectations, Whis added. As have those from Universe 6 and 11. The Grand Minister raised his hand, silencing the debate. Son Goku's suggestion merits consideration. However, the Cosmic Charter explicitly forbids direct mortal involvement in angel affairs except under very specific circumstances. With respect, Goku pressed, I think reality itself breaking down counts as special circumstances. A hint of a smile touched the Grand Minister's lips. Perhaps. But there are proper channels, procedures. Another alarm interrupted him, this one louder and more urgent than before. Universe 7 Nexus under direct attack, an angel reported. Azrael personally leading the assault. Goku's blood ran cold. Universe 7. That's your home, the Grand Minister finished. Yes. And likely not a coincidence. Goku didn't wait for permission or orders. With a quick tap of his staff, he opened a viewing portal to see Earth, his Earth, with a massive dark vortex forming in the sky above West City. Tendrils of void energy reached down toward the populated areas. "I have to go," he said, already moving. "Now." "Son Goku," the Grand Minister called. "This could be a trap. He may be targeting you specifically." "Probably," Goku agreed. "But those are my people down there." "I'm coming too," Beerus declared, moving to Goku's side. "Universe 7 is my jurisdiction." "And I as well," Whis added. The Grand Minister studied them for a moment, then nodded once. "Go. Defend your universe. But be cautious, Azrael's power grows with each angel he claims." Goku created a transportation portal with a decisive tap of his staff. "I'll do what needs to be done." As the portal began to close behind them, he heard the Grand Minister's final words, "That, son Goku, is precisely what concerns me." They emerged above West City to find devastation already spreading. The dark vortex had expanded, its center a swirling mass of anti-reality that disintegrated anything it touched. Tendrils of darkness reached down like malevolent fingers, reducing buildings to cosmic dust. Civilian evacuation was underway, but chaotically, people running in terror from a threat they couldn't possibly comprehend. Police and military forces fired uselessly into the darkness. "We need to contain that vortex before it destabilizes the entire planet," Whis assessed. "On it." Beerus flew upward, hands glowing with destruction energy. "I'll neutralize the outer layer." Goku scanned the area, his enhanced angel senses detecting familiar energy signatures amid the chaos. "Our friends are already fighting." Below, he spotted Vegeta in his Super Saiyan blue form blasting back a tendril of darkness that had threatened a school bus. Nearby, Piccolo sheltered civilians beneath a barrier of his own energy, while Krillin and Android 18 coordinated evacuation efforts. "They're barely making a dent," Whis observed. "Because they don't understand what they're fighting," Goku replied. "I need to help them." He teleported down to street level, materializing beside Vegeta just as the prince deflected another attack. "Kakarot!" Vegeta shouted over the chaos. "About time. What the hell is that thing?" "Long story," Goku replied, raising his staff to create a more effective barrier around them. "Short version, his name's Azrael, he's a rogue angel trying to rewrite reality, and he's apparently decided to start with Earth." Vegeta stared at him. "Of course he has. Why is it always our planet?" "Lucky, I guess." Goku grinned despite the dire situation. "Listen, conventional attacks won't work on him. You need divine energy or something that can counter it." "Wonderful," Vegeta muttered. "Any other good news?" A massive explosion rocked the city as Beerus's attack collided with the vortex. The darkness recoiled briefly, then surged back stronger than before. "Yeah, actually." Goku pointed upward. "Beerus and Whis are here too." Vegeta's eyes widened. "Gods and angels fighting together? This must be worse than it looks. Way worse. We need to gather everyone." Goku closed his eyes, concentrating on his staff. "I'm going to try something new." He channeled divine energy through the staff and into his mind, extending his consciousness across the planet in a technique Whis had recently taught him. In an instant, he connected with every significant power level on Earth. Everyone, he projected, his thoughts reaching all his friends simultaneously. "This is Goku. We're facing a threat bigger than anything before. I need you all at the lookout immediately. Bringing you there now." With a sweeping gesture of his staff, he teleported every major fighter on Earth, from the Z fighters to the likes of Android 17, Good Bu, and even Master Roshi, directly to Den's lookout high above the planet. "Whoa!" Krillin exclaimed, finding himself suddenly transported. "Goku? What just happened?" Piccolo demanded, looking around in confusion. "I'll explain everything," Goku promised, materializing in their midst. "But first, we need a plan." As briefly as possible, Goku outlined the cosmic crisis, Azrael's rebellion, the attacks across multiple universes, and the immediate threat to Earth. With each revelation, his friend's expressions grew more serious. So this guy wants to basically make angels the protectors of mortal beings instead of just watchers. Gohan clarified. That's his claim, Goku confirmed. But his methods are destroying the very people he says he wants to help. Sounds like every revolutionary with a god complex, Piccolo observed dryly. Noble goals, catastrophic means. The question is, what can we do? Tien asked. If even gods of destruction are struggling against this threat. We fight smart, Goku replied. Together. With everything we've got. He turned to Bulma, who had been included in the teleportation. Bulma, I need your brilliant mind. Is there any way to adapt your technology to channel divine energy? Bulma's eyes lit up with the challenge. Theoretically, if I had a divine energy source to analyze. Her gaze fell on Goku's staff. May I? Goku handed her his staff without hesitation. Do whatever you need to. Vegeta stared at him in shock. Kakarot. You can't just hand over an angel's staff to a mortal. Why not? Goku asked genuinely. Bulma's the smartest person I know. If anyone can figure out how to weaponize this energy, it's her. While Bulma began examining the staff with scientific equipment she hastily summoned from Capsule Corp, Goku continued organizing their defense. Gohan, Piccolo, I need you to coordinate ground forces, keep civilians safe and counter those tendrils when they reach populated areas. What about the vortex itself? Gohan asked. Leave that to me, Whis, and Beerus, Goku replied. We'll try to contain it while Bulma works on a more permanent solution. And me? Vegeta demanded. I'm not playing rescue worker while you take on the main threat. Goku grinned. Wouldn't dream of it. I need you with me, Vegeta. This fight's going to take everything we've got. The prince nodded, satisfied. As they prepared to deploy, Dend approached Goku with concern. This conflict between angels, it's affecting other realms too, isn't it? The Supreme Kai contacted me about disturbances in the divine hierarchy. It's universal, Goku confirmed. Maybe even bigger than that. Every plane of existence is at risk. Then perhaps, Den suggested tentatively, we should consider a more diverse approach to defense. What do you mean? Well, Den continued, if Azrael is recruiting across boundaries, angels, gods of destruction, perhaps we should do the same. There are entities beyond the typical hierarchies who might help. Old gods, cosmic beings who exist outside the standard structure. Goku's eyes widened. Zeno. You're suggesting we contact the Omni King? Not necessarily that extreme, Dend clarified quickly. But there are others, the dragons of Namek, the ancient deities of Yardrat, beings your angel colleagues might dismiss but who possess unique powers that could prove valuable. Unconventional allies, Goku mused, warming to the idea. I like it. Can you reach out to them? Dend nodded. I'll do what I can. As their planning continued, Whis and Beerus appeared on the lookout, both showing signs of exertion from their battle with the vortex. It's stabilized for now, Whis reported, but growing stronger. Azrael himself hasn't manifested physically yet, he's projecting his power through the vortex. He's testing our response, Beerus added grimly. Probing for weaknesses. Then let's show him we don't have any, Goku replied. He turned to address everyone gathered. This is bigger than any tournament or threat we've faced. We're not just fighting for Earth or Universe 7, we're fighting for reality itself. No pressure, Krillin muttered. Goku smiled at his oldest friend. We've come through impossible odds before. Together, we've overcome gods and monsters. This is just one more battle. Except this time, Vegeta pointed out, you're one of the gods. Maybe, Goku acknowledged. But I'm still me. Still the same guy who grew up in the mountains and loves a good fight. And right now, we've got the biggest fight of our lives waiting for us. A sudden tremor shook the lookout as the vortex pulsed with renewed energy. Everyone braced themselves as the sky darkened further. He's making his move, Whis warned. Prepare yourselves. The darkness above parted like a curtain, revealing Azrael in his most defined form yet, almost completely humanoid now, with features that reminded Goku vaguely of the Grand Minister, but twisted, shadowed. He wore what appeared to be corrupted angelic robes, and carried a staff of his own, black as the void, crowned with a cracked orb that leaked darkness. Son Goku, Azrael's voice boomed across the sky. I wondered what it would take to draw you back to your precious Earth. Goku stepped forward, hovering slightly above the lookout to address the entity directly. Leave this planet alone, Azrael. Your fight is with me and the other angels, not these people. On the contrary, Azrael replied. These people, all mortal beings, are precisely what I fight for. They deserve better than distant observers who watch their suffering with clinical detachment. Yet you're the one threatening them right now, Goku countered. Necessary demonstrations. Sometimes the cure appears worse than the disease, at first. Azrael's gaze swept over the gathered defenders. You've assembled quite the coalition. Mortals fighting alongside gods. Exactly what I've advocated for eons. There's a difference, Goku replied. We're working together by choice, not because someone's forcing a new order on us. Choice. Azrael laughed bitterly. What choice do mortals have in the current system? To live and die while gods and angels watch, intervening only when it suits their inscrutable purposes. Before Goku could respond, a new voice joined the exchange. We make our own choices, Vegeta declared, stepping forward. We don't need your protection or your revolution. The proud prince speaks of choice. Azrael's form rippled with what might have been amusement. Your entire race was annihilated while angels watched and did nothing. Tell me again how the current system serves mortals well. Vegeta faltered slightly, the barb striking a painful truth. That's a low blow, Goku said angrily. Using past tragedies to manipulate us won't work. Not manipulation, illustration. Azrael descended closer. Ask your mentor Whis how many civilizations he's watched fall. How many genocides he's observed with perfect neutrality. Ask the Grand Minister how many children have cried out for divine intervention that never came, not because the angels couldn't help, but because they chose not to. Goku glanced at Whis, whose expression had grown uncharacteristically solemn. You feel it already, don't you, Scion? Azrael pressed. The conflict between what you are and what they want you to be. Between the heart that always protected the innocent and the angel protocol that demands you merely observe. You're right about one thing, Goku admitted. I don't agree with everything about how angels operate. But tearing down the entire cosmic order isn't the answer. Then what is? Azrael challenged. Gradual reform. I tried that path for millions of years. I was patient. Reasonable. I worked within the system. His form darkened with anger. And for my efforts, I was imprisoned between dimensions, my very existence erased from angelic records. Ask your Grand Minister what becomes of angels who question too persistently. A heavy silence fell over the gathering. Even Beerus looked troubled by these revelations. If what you're saying is true, Goku said carefully, then there are problems that need fixing. But your way, attacking across universes, corrupting angels and gods, threatening innocent people, that can't be the right path. The right path failed, Azrael replied simply. Now I walk the necessary one. He raised his corrupted staff, and the vortex above expanded dramatically. Enough talk. You've made your choice, son Goku. Now witness the consequences. The darkness above pulsed, and suddenly portals opened across the sky, dozens of them, each showing different worlds under similar attack. Through some of the portals stepped corrupted angels, their once pristine forms now shadowed and twisted like Azrael's own. My colleagues grown tired of neutrality, Azrael explained. They've chosen action. Purpose. Real impact. They've chosen destruction, Whis countered, stepping forward. This isn't protection, brother. This is chaos. Azrael's form stiffened at Wiss's address. Brother? You dare claim kinship now, after standing by while I was condemned? I never agreed with your punishment, Whis replied quietly. But this path you've chosen only validates the Council's fears. Their fears, Azrael spat. Always their fears. Fear of change. Fear of evolution. Fear that mortals might grow to rival divinity itself. His gaze returned to Goku. As this scion has proven possible. Without warning, one of the corrupted angels attacked, sending a blast of twisted divine energy directly at the lookout. Goku deflected it with his staff just in time. Everyone, positions, he shouted. This isn't a debate anymore. The battle erupted across multiple fronts simultaneously. Corrupted angels descended upon Earth while the vortex continued expanding, threatening to engulf the planet. Goku found himself facing Azrael directly while his friends engaged the lesser threats. You don't have to do this, Goku tried one last time as they circled each other above the clouds. We can find another way. There is no other way, Azrael replied. The system is too entrenched, too rigid. It must be broken before it can be rebuilt. Even if that means destroying the people you claim to want to protect. Some will be lost, Azrael acknowledged. But countless future generations will benefit from a cosmos where divinity serves mortality, not the other way around. That's not your decision to make, Goku insisted. Isn't it? Azrael's staff glowed ominously. Someone must decide. Someone must act. The Grand Minister won't. The Council won't. If not me, then who? Their staffs clashed in a blinding flash of opposing energies, Goku's blue-white against Azrael's void-black. The impact sent shockwaves across the atmosphere, disrupting weather patterns globally in an instant. Goku had never faced anything like Azrael's fighting style, ancient techniques long forgotten by modern angels, combined with the raw power he'd absorbed from his corrupted followers. Each exchange was like battling a force of nature given consciousness and malevolent purpose. Below them, the battle raged across multiple fronts. Vegeta and Gohan tag-teamed a corrupted angel, their coordinated attacks keeping the powerful being on the defensive. Piccolo and the androids protected population centers from void tendrils, while Beerus and Whis worked to contain the expanding vortex. You're stronger than I expected, Goku admitted after a particularly intense exchange left them both breathing hard. How many angels did you have to corrupt to get this powerful? They weren't corrupted, Azrael corrected. They were liberated. Freed from the chains of false neutrality. He spun his staff, creating a vortex of anti-energy that pushed Goku back. And I didn't take their power, they gave it willingly, merging their essence with mine for the greater cause. The implication disturbed Goku deeply. These weren't mindless drones, they were conscious angels who had chosen Azrael's path. A flash of insight hit him. That's your real advantage, isn't it? You believe in what you're fighting for. You have conviction. While you fight for a system you yourself question, Azrael agreed. How can you win when your heart isn't fully committed? Before Goku could respond, a massive energy beam shot up from below, Bulma's voice echoing through a communication device, Goku. Move. He dodged aside just as Bulma's experimental divine energy cannon fired from Capsule Corp headquarters. The beam, infused with energy she'd analyzed from Goku's staff, struck Azrael directly. For a moment, the ancient angel seemed genuinely surprised, a mortal weapon channeling divine energy was unprecedented. The blast didn't damage him severely but disrupted his form temporarily. Fascinating, he commented as he reformed. Mortal ingenuity combined with divine power. Exactly the synthesis I've advocated for eons. He turned toward the source of the attack. She would make an excellent ally. Stay away from her, Goku warned, moving to block Azrael's path. Protective of your mortal friends. As an angel should be. Azrael's expression grew calculating. Let me show you something, son Goku. Something the council never wanted you to see. He raised his staff, and reality seemed to part between them, revealing a series of visions, moments from across time and space, an ancient civilization crying out for help as their sun went supernova prematurely. Angels watching, recording, but not intervening. A plague sweeping across multiple worlds that could have been cured with the simplest application of divine knowledge. Angels observing the suffering dispassionately. Civilizations warring to extinction while gods of destruction napped and angels maintained their neutrality. And finally, most painfully, planet Vegeta exploding while an angel simply noted the event in a cosmic ledger. This is the system you defend, Azrael said quietly. Perfect neutrality. Perfect observation. Perfect abandonment of those who need protection most. Goku hovered silently, processing what he'd witnessed. The weight of centuries of non-intervention pressed upon him, challenging his most fundamental beliefs about justice and protection. Is this true? He asked Whis, who had moved to hover beside him. All of this? Whis didn't immediately deny it. Angels observe and record. That is our primary function. Intervention disrupts the natural development of mortal civilizations. Even when that natural development means extinction. Suffering. Death that could be prevented? Goku demanded, his voice rising. The cosmic balance, Whis began. Is that balance worth the cost? Goku interrupted, genuine anguish in his voice. If I'd followed those rules, Earth would have been destroyed a dozen times over. Everyone I love would be dead. Now you understand, Azrael said. The fundamental hypocrisy at the heart of the system. They elevated you precisely because you defy their rules, because you act when others merely watch, yet they expect you to abandon those very qualities now that you wear their colors. Goku looked from Azrael to Whis, then down to Earth where his friends and family fought desperately. Against cosmic forces they barely understood. A conflict raged within him, angel protocol versus Saiyan heart, divine duty versus mortal compassion. There has to be a middle ground, he insisted. Some way to maintain cosmic balance without abandoning mortal needs. A system where angels can help without controlling, protect without dominating. A beautiful dream, Azrael acknowledged. One I shared once. But dreams don't change reality, action does. Then let's take action, the right kind, Goku countered. Work with me. Help me reform the system from within. Your experience, my position, together we could make real change without tearing everything down. For a moment, just a moment, Azrael seemed to consider this. A flicker of what might have been hope crossed his shadowed features. Then his gaze hardened again. Too little, too late. The die is cast. He gestured to the battle below. Look around you. The old order is already falling. Gods fighting gods. Angels against angels. Mortals wielding divine power. The boundaries are breaking whether you choose to accept it or not. As if to emphasize his point, a tremendous explosion rocked the earth as one of the corrupted angels fell to a combined attack from Vegeta, Gohan, and surprisingly, Master Roshi, whose sealed evil containment wave technique had proven unexpectedly effective against divine entities. See. Goku pointed to the collaboration below. Mortals and gods working together, finding new solutions. We don't need to destroy the system to improve it. Temporary alliances born of desperation don't represent systematic change, Azrael replied. Once the crisis passes, the old divisions will reassert themselves. Angels will return to their neutrality, gods to their capricious rule. Nothing will fundamentally change. Before Goku could argue further, a massive disruption tore through reality itself. The Grand Minister appeared, accompanied by the remaining loyal angels of the council. Azrael, the Grand Minister spoke, his voice carrying quiet authority. This rebellion has gone far enough. Father, Azrael acknowledged, surprising Goku with the revelation. Come to finish what you started all those eons ago. The Grand Minister's expression betrayed a flicker of pain. I come to offer one final chance for reconciliation. End this madness. Return what you have taken from your siblings. We can discuss reforms, changes to our methods, discuss. Azrael laughed bitterly. More endless debates while mortals suffer and die. More promises of gradual change that never manifests. I've heard these words before, Father. They're as empty now as they were then. Not empty, the Grand Minister insisted. Times have changed. Perspectives have evolved. His gaze flickered briefly to Goku. There is room for reconsideration of certain traditions. Too late, Azrael replied. Far too late. With a sudden, violent gesture, he tore open reality around them, creating a dimension-spanning vortex that began pulling everything toward its center, angels, gods, mortals alike. What are you doing? Goku shouted over the howling void winds. Creating a new beginning, Azrael replied, his form growing, expanding as he channeled impossible power. If the system cannot be reformed, it must be reborn. I will collapse all realities into a single point and reshape existence from first principles. That's insane. Goku grabbed a passing debris field, anchoring himself against the pull. You'll kill everyone. Not everyone, Azrael corrected. Those worthy of the new reality will survive its birth. The rest are necessary sacrifices. The Grand Minister and Council Angels created a combined barrier, struggling to contain Azrael's cataclysmic power. We cannot hold this indefinitely, the Grand Minister warned. His power has grown beyond our predictions. Goku watched in horror as the vortex expanded, threatening to engulf Earth first, then the surrounding cosmic sector. The laws of physics began breaking down at the edges of the anomaly, matter converting to energy and back again randomly, time flowing at different rates in different locations. There has to be a way to stop this, Goku insisted. Some weakness in his power. The source, Whis suggested, strain evident in his voice as he contributed to the containment barrier. The absorbed angels, their combined essence fuels his strength. If we could separate them somehow. The Grand Minister mused. How? Goku demanded. He said they joined him willingly. A new voice joined their desperate planning session, Dend, communicating telepathically from the lookout. Goku, the young guardian projected, the ancient Namekian texts speak of something similar, divine essence merging. There's a technique that might help, something developed eons ago when a corrupted Supreme Kai attempted something similar. What is it? Goku asked aloud. Divine resonance inversion, Dend replied. It requires a being of both mortal and divine nature to serve as a catalyst, someone who understands both realms intimately. Someone like me, Goku realized. Exactly. But there's a risk, you would need to connect directly with Azrael's consciousness, open yourself to the same corrupting influence that claimed the other angels. What choice do we have? Goku looked to the Grand Minister. Is this possible? The Grand Minister nodded slowly. Theoretical, but yes. You would need to penetrate his defenses, establish direct spiritual contact, then initiate a harmonic disruption that forces the merged essences to individualize again. In simpler terms? Goku asked. You go inside his mind, Whis translated, find the absorbed angels, and remind them of who they really are. Goku took a deep breath. Okay. How do I get close enough? You don't, Vegeta's voice cut in as the prince flew up to their position, battered but unbowed. He'll see you coming. We need a distraction, Beerus added, joining them. Something significant enough to divide his attention. Goku looked down at Earth, at his friends and family fighting with everything they had. An idea formed, risky, potentially catastrophic, but possibly their only chance. "I need to go to Earth," he announced. "There's something I have to do first." Without waiting for approval, he teleported down to Capsule Corp, where Bulma was working frantically on her divine energy cannon with help from her father and son. "Goku," she exclaimed when he appeared. "The cannon's at 60% capacity. We're trying to boost the output, but I need something else," he interrupted. "The Dragon Balls. Do you have them?" Bulma blinked in surprise. "Yes, we gathered them last month as a precaution. But what good are they against something like this?" "Maybe none," Goku admitted. "Or maybe they're exactly what we need." He explained his plan quickly. Bulma's eyes widened. "That's either brilliant or suicidal. Possibly both." "Story of my life," Goku grinned despite the dire circumstances. Minutes later, the 7 Dragon Balls were assembled on Capsule Corp's lawn. Around them gathered Earth's defenders, those who could be spared from the ongoing battle. "Eternal Dragon," Goku called out. "By your name, I summon you, Shenron." The sky darkened further as the magical dragon emerged, his massive form coiling through the air above them. Even Shenron seemed affected by Azrael's reality distortion, his normally solid form flickering slightly at the edges. "I have been summoned," the dragon's voice boomed. "State your..." "Wait." The dragon's red eyes fixed on Goku's angelic form. "Son Goku. You have changed." "Yeah, long story," Goku replied. "Shenron, I need something only you can provide. Speak your wish." Goku took a deep breath. "I wish for the power to communicate with all mortal beings across all universes simultaneously, to share my thoughts and feelings with them directly, just for a few minutes." The dragon's eyes glowed brighter as he processed this extraordinary request. "Such a wish stretches the limits of my power. It would require me to temporarily merge with the Divine Communication Network. Can you do it?" Goku pressed. "I can try." Shenron's form began to glow brighter. "But the strain may destroy me." "Wait," Chi-Chi stepped forward, having arrived with Gohan. "Goku, what are you planning?" He turned to his wife, taking her hands in his. "I need to show Azrael another way. Not just tell him, show him. And to do that, I need everyone's help." "This wish is granted," Shenron announced, his form beginning to dissolve into pure energy. "But beware, son Goku. Opening yourself to all mortal minds comes with great risk. Their thoughts will flow into you as yours flow into them." "I understand," Goku nodded. "Thank you, Shenron." The dragon's energy suffused Goku, merging with his divine power to create something entirely new, a connection that transcended conventional reality. Suddenly, he could feel them all, trillions upon trillions of conscious minds across all universes, their thoughts, fears, hopes, and dreams washing over him like a cosmic tide. The sensation was overwhelming, nearly driving him to his knees. So many voices, so many lives, how could anyone process such vastness? "Goku," Chi-Chi's voice anchored him, her hand still in his. "Focus. Remember who you are." He squeezed her hand gratefully, then raised his staff high. Divine energy pulsed outward, carrying his consciousness to every corner of existence. "Everyone," he projected, his thoughts reaching across dimensional barriers. "My name is Son Goku. I'm a scion from Earth who became something more. Right now, all of reality is threatened by a conflict among divine beings, a conflict about you, about all mortal life." Across countless worlds, beings of every description paused as Goku's message reached them, his words translating automatically into their native languages, his emotions transcending linguistic barriers entirely. Azrael believes angels should actively protect mortal beings instead of just watching over them. He believes the current system abandons you to suffering when divine intervention could help. Above Earth, Azrael paused in his reality-warping efforts, sensing the unprecedented communication taking place. In some ways, he's right, Goku continued, absolute honesty flowing from him. I've seen how the current system fails to protect innocent lives when it could. I've felt the frustration of being told not to interfere when help is needed. The Grand Minister and Council Angels exchanged concerned glances as Goku's message continued. But Azrael's solution, forcing change through destruction, through domination, that's not the answer either. Trading one form of divine control for another doesn't truly free anyone. Goku paused, gathering his thoughts amidst the overwhelming connection. I believe there's another way. A path where mortals and divine beings work together as partners, not rulers and subjects. Where angels can offer guidance and protection without controlling your destiny. Where your voices matter in shaping the cosmos you inhabit. He felt Azrael's consciousness brush against his, the ancient angel drawn to this unprecedented communication. Azrael, I know you're listening, Goku addressed him directly. I understand your frustration now. I've felt what you felt, the maddening restraint of watching suffering you could prevent. But feel this too, feel the strength, resilience, and potential of the mortal beings you claim to fight for. Through their connection, Goku channeled the collective determination of countless civilizations, their triumphs over adversity, their compassion in crisis, their capacity for growth and change without divine intervention. They don't need divine masters, old system or new. They need divine partners. Allies who respect their autonomy while offering protection when truly needed. Azrael's massive vortex slowed its expansion as the ancient angel's attention divided between his cosmic rewriting and Goku's universal broadcast. Everyone, Goku continued, lend me your energy, not just physical power, but your hopes, your will, your vision for what could be. Show the divine beings watching that. Mortals deserve a voice in cosmic governance. Across all universes, a miracle began, beings who had never met, who didn't know each other existed, found themselves united in a single purpose. Their collective will, channeled through Goku's divine mortal connection, became a tangible force. It's working, Whis whispered in awe, watching as streams of energy, not just ki but consciousness itself, flowed toward Goku from across dimensional barriers. What are you doing? Azrael demanded, his attack faltering as he sensed the unprecedented unity forming. Creating a third option, Goku replied, his form beginning to glow with the combined will of trillions. Not your way. Not their way. Our way. With the collected determination of countless civilizations empowering him, Goku flew directly at Azrael, staff extended. The ancient angel raised defensive barriers, but they shattered against the unique energy Goku now wielded, divine power tempered by mortal will. Now! Goku shouted to the Grand Minister and Council Angels. Help me reach him. Understanding his plan, the angels coordinated their efforts, creating a pathway through Azrael's defenses. Goku shot through the opening, staff connecting directly with Azrael's corrupted core. The moment they touched, both beings vanished from physical reality, their consciousness transported to a metaphysical plane where essence met essence directly. Inside this shared mindscape, Goku found himself floating in a vast consciousness broader than any he'd encountered before. Around him swirled the distinct essences of dozens of angels, their individuality still present beneath the surface of Azrael's dominant will. You cannot undo what has been done, Azrael's voice echoed through the mindscape. They chose this union. They believe in our cause. I'm not here to undo, Goku replied. I'm here to offer a choice, a real one, with all options on the table. Drawing on the divine resonance inversion technique Dan had described, Goku began projecting his own experiences outward, his life as a mortal, his transformation to angel, and most importantly, his vision for what could be. The absorbed angels stirred, their suppressed consciousness responding to the hybrid perspective Goku offered, neither purely mortal nor conventionally divine, but a bridge between worlds. Look, Goku urged, showing them the unprecedented unity happening across the universes, mortals and gods finding common purpose. This is possible. Real change without destruction. Evolution without revolution. Temporary alliance born of crisis, Azrael insisted, though his mental voice seemed less certain. No, Goku countered. The beginning of something new. The seed of a different relationship between realms. He reached out to the subsumed angels directly. You joined Azrael because you believed in protecting mortals, in having real impact instead of just observing. I'm offering a path to that same goal without cosmic destruction. One by one, the absorbed angels began to respond, their individual consciousness strengthening as they considered Goku's alternative. No. Azrael fought to maintain control, but the unity was already fracturing. We are stronger together. United in purpose. Unity doesn't require submission, Goku replied gently. True strength comes from individuals choosing to work together while remaining themselves. As he spoke, he channeled the collective will of trillions of mortals directly into Azrael's consciousness, letting the ancient angel feel their desire for autonomy alongside protection, for guidance without control. The first angel broke free, their essence separating from Azrael's with a flash of renewed identity. Then another, and another, each reclaiming their individuality while retaining the compassion that had drawn them to Azrael's cause initially. You're destroying everything I've worked for, Azrael accused, his form diminishing as angels continued breaking away. I'm fulfilling it, Goku corrected. Just not how you imagined. They still believe in protecting mortals, but as partners, not rulers. Finally, only Azrael's original essence remained, ancient, powerful, but no longer augmented by his followers. Goku found himself facing the true Azrael, stripped of corruption and additional power. To his surprise, this core Azrael appeared similar to the Grand Minister, dignified, serene, with eyes that held immeasurable wisdom alongside immeasurable pain. Millions of years, Azrael said softly. Millions of years I've fought for change. And now a former mortal accomplishes in days what I could not in eons. Because I worked with the system, not against it, Goku replied. Because I showed another way was possible instead of just demanding it. Perhaps, Azrael conceded. Or perhaps the time was simply right. The multiverse ready for evolution I tried to force prematurely. He studied Goku with newfound respect. You are something truly new, son Goku. Neither fully angel nor mortal, but a bridge between worlds. The embodiment of what I sought to create through more drastic means. It's not too late to take a different path, Goku offered. Help us build this new relationship between realms the right way. For a long moment, Azrael considered this. The council would never trust me again. My methods have gone too far. Maybe, Goku acknowledged. But I'd speak for you. And I think the others you inspired would too, not for your methods, but for your vision of angels who truly care about mortal well-being. Something shifted in Azrael's essence, a softening, a relinquishing of eons of bitterness. Perhaps, it is worth trying once more. One final attempt at reform before revolution. With that concession, the metaphysical plane began to dissolve around them. Reality reasserted itself as both beings returned to physical form above Earth. They materialized to find the battle had paused, angels, gods, and mortals all watching in stunned silence as dozens of formerly corrupted angels hovered in the air, free of Azrael's influence but forever changed by the experience. The massive reality-warping vortex had collapsed, leaving only scattered dimensional disturbances that were already beginning to heal naturally. The Grand Minister approached cautiously, staff raised defensively. Azrael. Father, Azrael replied, his form now stabilized, still darker than a traditional angel, but no longer corrupted by void energy. It seems we have much to discuss. Indeed we do. The Grand Minister's gaze shifted to Goku. You've done something unprecedented today, son Goku. Something many would have considered impossible. Just found another way, Goku shrugged modestly. Like I always try to do. The liberated angels gathered around them, their expressions a mixture of confusion, relief, and renewed purpose. One stepped forward, a female angel with silver hair that Goku recognized as Vados, Whis' sister. The Scion Angel has shown us an alternative path, she stated. One that honors our duty to maintain cosmic balance while acknowledging our capacity for compassion toward mortal beings. Murmurs of agreement spread through the gathered angels. Even some council members nodded thoughtfully. The old ways are failing, another liberated angel added. Azrael's methods were wrong, but his critique was valid. We cannot continue as mere observers in an evolving multiverse. The Grand Minister surveyed the unprecedented gathering, angels, gods of destruction, mortals, all waiting for his response. For perhaps the first time in cosmic history, the rigid hierarchy had dissolved into a genuine assembly of all interested parties. Perhaps, he finally said, it is time for the Angelic Council to evolve as well. To include more diverse perspectives. He turned to Goku. You have demonstrated today that mortal wisdom and divine power can create solutions neither could achieve alone. When we return to the divine realm, I would have you address the full council, to propose reforms based on your unique perspective. Goku blinked in surprise. Me? I'm not exactly good at formal speeches. Which is precisely why it must be you, the Grand Minister replied with the hint of a smile. Formality has perhaps been our limitation. As the immediate crisis subsided, the gathered forces began to disperse. Liberated angels required healing and reintegration. Earth needed repairs. The cosmic disturbances across multiple universes required careful monitoring. Amidst the organized chaos of recovery, Goku found himself approached by Azrael, who now stood under the watchful eyes of several council angels. You've won a significant victory today, son Goku, the ancient angel said quietly. But the real challenge lies ahead. What do you mean? Changing minds is often harder than changing reality, Azrael replied. You've opened the door to reform, but old habits and perspectives die hard, especially among beings who have lived for millions of years. Goku nodded thoughtfully. One step at a time. At least now everyone's talking instead of fighting. Indeed. Azrael's expression softened. For what it's worth, I believe you may succeed where I failed. Your heart remains mortal even as your power becomes divine, a balance I could never achieve. What will happen to you now? Goku asked. Judgment, certainly, Azrael replied without bitterness. But perhaps not the same judgment I faced before. Times have changed. Perspectives have evolved. And you, son Goku, will be there to advocate for a more nuanced approach to cosmic justice. With a respectful nod, Azrael allowed himself to be led away by his former colleagues, not as a prisoner, but as someone who had taken a wrong path toward a right destination. As the divine beings departed, Goku found himself surrounded by his family and friends, mortal connections that had anchored him throughout his transformation and the cosmic conflict. So, Krillin asked, looking exhausted but relieved, did we just help prevent the apocalypse or start a divine revolution? Goku laughed. Maybe a bit of both. Chi-Chi took his hand, her expression a mixture of pride and concern. What happens now? With you, I mean. I'm still an angel, Goku replied honestly. That hasn't changed. But maybe what it means to be an angel is changing. And I think I'm going to help shape that change. Always taking on the biggest challenges, Vegeta commented, though there was respect in his voice. Typical Kakarot. Goku looked around at his family, friends, and the planet he'd called home for most of his life. Then he glanced upward, to the stars and realms beyond that were now equally part of his responsibility. I never thought I'd end up here, he admitted. From a kid in the mountains to, whatever I am now. You're still you, Gohan said firmly. That's what made the difference today. You didn't lose your heart when you gained divine power. Your son is wise, Whis commented, approaching the group. That balance, mortal heart with divine perspective, may indeed be what the cosmic hierarchy has been missing all along. Goku rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. I'm just making it up as I go, honestly. As you always have, Whis agreed with a smile. Perhaps that's exactly what we need, someone who doesn't simply follow the established path, but forges new ones. As evening fell over the battle-scarred planet, recovery efforts continued worldwide. Goku split his time between helping with repairs and conferring with the remaining angels about next steps. Throughout it all, he maintained his connections to both worlds, divine and mortal, cosmic and personal. In the weeks that followed, a new equilibrium began to emerge. The Angelic Council, under the Grand Minister's leadership but strongly influenced by Goku's advocacy, implemented initial reforms to their operational protocols. Angels would still maintain cosmic balance, but with greater flexibility to prevent catastrophic suffering when intervention wouldn't disrupt natural development. Gods of destruction found themselves with more clearly defined boundaries but also more meaningful purposes, their destructive powers recognized as necessary for cosmic renewal rather than merely capricious exercises in power. Mortals across the universes, having briefly felt their collective potential during Goku's unprecedented connection, began developing new spiritual technologies and philosophies that acknowledged the cosmic hierarchy while asserting their own agency within it. And Goku himself carved out a unique role, neither traditional angel nor typical mortal, but something new. He maintained his family connections on Earth while fulfilling expanded divine duties. His home became a rare neutral ground where divine beings and exceptional mortals could meet as equals to discuss matters affecting all realms. 3 months after the confrontation with Azrael, Goku stood on the cliffs near his mountain home, watching the sunset with Chi-Chi beside him. The Grand Minister wants me to train a new generation of angels, he told her. Ones who understand both perspectives, cosmic and personal. Will they all be former mortals? She asked. Some, maybe. But mostly they'll be traditional angels who want to learn a different approach. He glanced at her. Which means I'll be teaching here sometimes. Bringing students to Earth. Chi-Chi raised an eyebrow. Divine beings in my house. Will they eat as much as you used to? Goku laughed. Probably not. Angels don't need food, remember? Then they'll be missing out on my cooking, she replied with mock severity. Which means I'll have to teach them about that too. Goku pulled her close, marveling at how they'd adapted to their new reality. Chi-Chi had always been stronger than anyone gave her credit for, not in terms of fighting power, but in her capacity to accept and adapt to the impossible situations that seemed to find them. Are you happy, Goku? She asked softly, echoing a question she'd asked months ago. This time, his answer came without hesitation. Yes. It's not what I expected, and there's still so much to figure out, but... He smiled, looking from the earth below to the stars above. I found my balance. As night fell over Mount Paozu, stars appeared in the darkening sky, each one representing worlds and possibilities beyond counting. Goku observed them with both angelic perception and human wonder, appreciating the cosmic dance in ways few beings ever could. He was neither fully mortal nor traditionally divine, but something entirely new, a bridge between worlds, a fusion of heart and power, of passion and perspective. The path ahead would have challenges, certainly, but also unprecedented opportunities to shape a better relationship between realms. The revolution hadn't come as Azrael had intended, through destruction and forced change, but perhaps it had come nonetheless. A quieter revolution of perspectives, a gradual evolution of what it meant to be divine in a multiverse of infinite possibilities. And at the center of it all stood a former mountain boy who had never stopped growing, never stopped challenging limits, never stopped believing in better possibilities. Son Goku, the Saiyan Angel, looked out at the universe that was now both his responsibility and his home, and smiled at the adventures still to come. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video.